Reagan spouting hate speech. John McGurk has gotta preach. The sun shines out his asshole from high up on his castle. Howard wants his kettle, his tastes are a fiasco. Parties stole from under their nose, but that's just how media goes. Black man in the Highlands, he must be out his mind, man. The locals had their say-so, so he's on his way to Glasgow. This country's a pain, man. It'll wreck your darn brain pan. All the politicians are the same when it comes time to sling the mud and blame. Then they'll take an inch if you give them a mile and rub it in your face with a shit-eating smile. Charlie Kirk's a brave man, but it didn't seem to save him. His wife made of plastic, couldn't think it more fantastic. Baird's an Austrian painter, you couldn't get more plainer. He thought he was fantastic when the women shouted fascist. The two birds for the office couldn't get any more obvious. Gavin gave up and now we're stuck, the race has gone all flaccid. Town is no more safe than your electronics in the basin. One false move and that's you, it'll be hell that you'll be facing. He's a political prisoner of the space Nazis from Jupiter, drinking toilet water, cause he's just that damn curious. Michelle's a Fed informant, cause her politics went all dormant. Got a funny email, then acted all indignant. They all want our freedoms, and then we'll all sweet give them. Pretty soon we'll need a license to scratch our own damn asses.
Wake up and see it's all a facade. They say it's warming, but who's playing God? Voices loud in a silent masquerade. Truth buried deep beneath the charade. Look above, what do you spy? Silver streaks crisscrossing the sky. Whispers of doom falling like rain. Chemicals dance coursing through our veins. Freedom, 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 freedom. Together, together, the nations conspire. Secrets they weave, tangled in wire. But we'll dance on the edge of their lives, living free under open skies. Freedom, 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 freedom. Don't fear the shadow, don't fear the
Welcome, folks, to the anti broadcast. That was Freedom by Undercover Banker. The link to that is in the chat if you want to download it for yourself. Whew, what a week, guys. We got a lot to cover tonight, but we have very little time to do it within because we need to get our sleep. So we're up in the morning again. We're back on air at midday tomorrow for the uh, for coverage, national coverage of a number of protests going on in the country. What a week for it to happen. Tonight we'll be looking at the what would you call it? Riot, uprising, um, whatever it was. It looked very troubly out there. Capital T, troubly, especially with the deployment of the water cannon for the first time. So let's look at the chat. In the chat, we have FJT. Good to see you out there. One of our more deeper and stranger thinkers. We're glad to have you guys along, who aren't afraid to look at very fringe theories. Pushing the envelope is very important. We have Nate Chance. Nice to see you in the chat. Liz Pepper. Holy shit. Okay, this is always holy shit is always a bit funny. My wife blocked me on Facebook because I post too many bird puns. Well, two can play that. Oh fuck, Jesus. Yeah, thanks, holy shit. We needed that. Oh, 420 in the house. I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything, but 420 sacrificed quite a lot there a few nights ago there. There in the front lines, covering what was going on in Dublin not a few days ago. And Nate Chance made him aware that he is appreciated. And he actually is. Thank you, 420, for, going out there and letting us see what's going on. And he's going to be out there again tomorrow on the front lines once more. Hopefully, this time around, it won't be as dangerous for him. Saoirse Aaron, nice to see you in the chat. All right, that's roll call. Jojo, sorry about that. Whew, good to have the usual heads along. Hopefully, we get a few more with us tonight. And we are again looking at the wonder that is Temple Bar on a Friday night. Not as busy as the last 2 weeks, but it's good to see that life is still going. I went out for a bite to eat at the local restaurant to, make sure that I was fueled for the not just tonight but tomorrow for our protest coverage. Man, it was packed. I don't know what happened. I think everyone's out celebrating the presidential election, which no, I don't actually think that. Nobody is. There are reports now that there is abysmal or dismal, rather, turnout in many constituencies. This doesn't surprise me. I call this. I think anyone could have called this. All right, look at this. Ah, brilliant. Awfully turnout is about 36%. Oof. Ooh. Oh my. Actually, you know what? I was going to ask Catherine Connolly and congratulate her. Not because I think it's good that that she will be our president, but she certainly will be. I just think it would be a funny thing to do. Does she have Twitter? That's the question. Connolly for president. Yeah, that. Yep. Okay. Just for a laugh. Just the word. Congratulations. Right. Okay, that's that done. Let's like roughly 36% turnout in Offaly. I think that would be reflected around the country, and that's pretty low. That's low. All right, Mayo turnout. It looks like about 31% average turnout. That's terrible. It's awful. In the chat, we have Dr. Crispy. Thanks for joining us. Miss Regina, good to have you guys along. Mr. Irish, a new face. How's it going out there? How do we feel? Will the what's the Carlo turnout? Yeah, okay. Is that where you're from? No data on Carlo according to RTE just yet. Polls have closed. Yeah, my county is actually a little higher. Galway is a little higher. Well, east anyway. Galway West, yes, is a little higher than the national average. We're in the 40%. That's crazy, man. That is crazy, and I think it's because Catherine Connolly is from Galway. You know. Yeah, you can't get past that part of Irish politics. I don't think we should do. 420 says, give Howard the finger. Yes. By the way, I am your host, Howard. We're awaiting our co-host, Morgan. We just like to get settled in. We just like to get settled in first and have a chat with the chat. We will be covering the riots and what was going on there underneath. There was a lot of shite going on multiple levels. We will cover that when Morgan joins us at 1:45 or 10. Saoirse and Aaron says, you're busy tomorrow, Morgan. Yes, we are going to be busy. We're going to be all over the place. We will actually need some help, if you don't mind. So anyone out there, if you are going to be watching the multiple streams from all around the country, we could use some digital boots on the ground. Get in contact with us later. Aaron Wolverson, good to see you in the chat. Right. What are we looking at here? Claire. Okay. It's looking like the west of the country is doing a lot more. A lot higher numbers, rather. Yeah, Donegal. Yeah, whoa, buddy. 27%. That's the lowest we've seen in Bundoran in Donegal. Wow. Yep. So if we take out a certain percentage of that who have voided their votes, that's pretty low, man. We could say that the president, whoever it will be by tomorrow, they don't have what's that word? I speak for a living, but I frequently forget words. It's amazing. Fucking CTE, man. Education in the chat. Nice to see you there. All right. That's, yeah, no more information really, except for Oh, that is bad. Fucking okay. Whew. Westmeath polling station averaging mid-50s. What does that mean? People in their 50s? Or no, the percentage of people coming out. Okay, well that's incredible. Considering um, considering the low turnouts in the rest of the country, as low as 27%, we're really making a statement here, folks. I was on the fence. Will I vote for Jim Gavin because it's fucking funny and it would be hilarious and it would actually be in my opinion, a more forceful message than spoiling the vote? Or will I spoil my vote? And in the end, I decided I'll spoil my vote, and I'm kicking myself because I went to the little booth with my own pen and I wrote in the turkey, Dustin, and I drew a little, made a little drawing of his face in a box with a tick, and I folded the paper up and put it in the thing, and I thought, fuck, I didn't take a picture. So my art will go on unappreciated. But let us know in the chat if you voted. What did you vote? Okay, education has a point. 50% in Drumshambo, officially the most evil town in Ireland. Congrats, Drumshambo. Yeah, it's yeah, there's something going on there. It's yeah, I don't know. It's a dark place. What do you call that college town not far from Dublin? It's like the artist version of that. Just a sewer of woke shit. Monaghan doing a bit better. Well, over 50%. Jesus, man, what's wrong with people? What is wrong with us? All right, we're not really getting any anything interesting out of RT right now. I haven't the ability to keep up with the chat, so sorry about that, folks. I'm doing a little multitasking here. Privacy group raises concerns over new data protection commissioner. Now, I don't normally just read any old news to you. There's a reason for it. A group of privacy organizations, including the Irish Council for Civil Liberties, has written to the government expressing concerns over the recent appointment of a third commissioner of the Irish Data Protection Commission. Last month, it was announced that Niamh Sweeney had been appointed to the role. Ms. Sweeney has previously held senior positions with technology companies including WhatsApp and Facebook, both run by Meta, the owners of Facebook. The company that was Facebook, rather. In their letter to the government, the organization said they were writing to publicly express their outrage and misgivings over the appointment, which they said reflects a concerning level of disregard for EU law. I just love how these guys who protect our rights, you know, they're on the lookout for us. They decide that they can only ever speak within the system's own terms. EU law, okay, yeah, sure, we're under EU law. How about basic fucking human rights that are unspoken? They don't need to be written down. this is insane. I think we even have laws of our own that may even predate the EU that say you can't dip your pen in so many inks. It reminds us, it reminds me rather of uh, what do you call the Minister of Justice who's just become the Minister of Education? Paul Hickey, her husband, Mr. Revolving Door, as I call him. From 2022 to now, he is the Director of Market Access and Shareholder Relations with AbbVie, a producer of the leading and most popular gender transition drug, like puberty blocker thingy. You know, now his fucking wife is in a prime position to basically help his stocks rise, you know, whatever it is. He was also in Novartis Oncology, head of market access and external affairs. So he's been with Baxter International, all of these pharmaceutical companies, and the Irish Pharmaceutical Healthcare Association, which is semi-corporate, but also HICA, Health Information and Quality Authority. He was the public affairs coordinator. The description of his role is coordination of the Irish health and social care regulators' public affairs portfolio. He worked with the Oireachtas as a parliamentary assistant, advisor to the chairperson of the Oireachtas Committee on the implementation of the Good Friday Agreement, advisor to the Irish co-chairperson of the British Irish Parliamentary Assembly, policy and press constituency manager for Joe McHugh, Fine Gael, TD for Donegal. Also a campaign press officer with the Oireachtas on the Lisbon Treaty of 2008. You can't play this game, whether it's on the books or not, that you can't be in this revolving door between corporations and government. It's not right, and it should be avoided. And if it's not avoided out of, you know, common fucking decency, if someone's not there to block that because, you know, it's not right, then you know, shit needs to go down. You know, we need to take care of it. All right, we have at least 10 minutes to go before Morgan is along with us. What else do we have on the... Oh, let's see what the BBC has to say about our election process. I was a little bemused by this photo. The headline is "Voters Head to the Polls to Decide New Irish President," and it's not the look that I want associated with my country. I'm sorry, but you know, this is what the British do. They, you know, pick the most goofiest fucking photos to represent the Irish. Heading into the poll, 10th president. Who are the candidates? As if we need to know who the fucking candidates are. No, fuck that. All right, look, BBC has nothing worth telling us, and there's really nothing worth knowing about it. I think by time we finish with the protests tomorrow, we will be checking in with results. they'll probably be coming in while we're monitoring the protests tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be a slow. Sorry, it's going to be a quick count. With turnouts as low as 27% around the country, and with I think it's going to be, I don't know, 20% spoilage. It's going to be easy. It's going to be a fast result. All right. What do I need to do before Morgan comes along? Sorry, folks. I didn't expect my pre-show segment to be this long. Bear with us. Yeah, here we go. Let's look at the chat. We've got a few new heads in there. Daryl Corrigan says there is less than 40% of Irish in every district of Ireland. What are we gonna do? Ferries. Don't know what that means at the end. Less than 47% of Irish in every district. I don't think so. I don't think it's that bad, bro. All right, we've got Morgan in the green room. It's time for yeah. Ooh.
Welcome to the Ante broadcast. Enjoy the show and vote for me.
I pulled in a favor with Catherine Connolly. I asked her to do a little bit of a promo for us. However, I don't know. It must be the stress or something. She must be having a stroke while she was doing it. I tried to tell her by time we're on air, the polls will be closed. So, but she insisted on asking us to go for her.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm tired. I'm tired. Very fucking tired. Tired of everything. Sick of it.
Yep.
Yeah. But I'm very excited at the same time because we had City West. Shocking scenes to see Garda van treated in such a manner, and like nothing upsets me more than seeing state property destroyed. It's truly shocking. I thought we'd never see scenes like this again since we lost the last Garda car back there. What was it, 2 years ago after those children were stabbed?
Yeah.
I thought we'd never see scenes like this again. I don't know how we continue on as a country. What must be 30, 40 grand's worth of van we lost there the other night. Yeah, fuck these people. Still the same horseshit, still the same retards who can't seem to wrap their head around the fact that children in the state are at risk. And the same excuses again and again. Well, why don't people protest why don't people riot when white men or native Irish men rape children? 'Cause generally they don't tend to corral them into these small places, and we have enough of our own. We're pretty well represented on that. We don't need more people brought into the country to increase those numbers. And generally, what tends to happen when people find out that people are committing those particular crimes and they're still within the community, what happens is large groups of men tend to go to their house, break all the windows, set it on fire, and if they can manage to get their hands on them, drag them into the street and, kick the living daylights out of them. And a couple of occasions, a couple of guys have been shot. But, nobody likes to hear that because still, for a large section, I don't even know if it's a large section of society. I'm not going to say it's a large section of society because I refuse to believe that. For a noisy section of society, it still seems that the highest crime you can commit in Ireland is to say anything against a person who's off-white. in colour, that people are just supposed to sit back forevermore and take everything, and people are supposed to do nothing, just wait for the next election to roll around, roll the dice again, see what happens, read or repents, Jesus Christ, rinse and repeat endlessly until somehow we manage to get the right mix of coalition forces in power.
Hmm.
And it's not going to happen. And of course, it's the usual horseshit, like, this can never happen again. Lessons have been learned. We must support our wonderful, angelic guards who would never harm a fly. And of course, we understand that you can't let 1,000 people in to kill the inhabitants of the City West Hotel. But I don't believe that was the case. I think people would be happy to allow the people in City West Hotel to leave and then burn the fucking thing to the ground. Not with people inside. Like, let the people out, burn
No.
it to the ground,
Hmm.
and that would be it. And that's going to happen one way or the other. It just is. It can't go any.
Eventually, yeah.
It's getting there every day. It's closer and closer and closer and closer. And we get there step by step, and they don't seem to do anything to placate people, to let them know the tide is turning. This can't continue on any longer, and people won't believe them anyway. It's a farce at this stage. It's a complete farce. We have an election. It's like being asked, would you like to be hit in the head with a hammer or a chisel? At this stage, they're the choices, the binary choices people are given to vote. The whole thing is just one giant fucking charade. And still, we have again, it's a small number of people, and it is. Most people turn up to protest peacefully, but I think there's a fair chunk of people in Ireland who are be happy to see it happen because something has to give. We just can't continue with these endless peaceful protests and nothing changes. Like the social contract, in effect, is, well, it's long been dead, but if ever there was proof needed that it's gone, it's buried, it's in the ground. When your government doesn't respond to the needs of the people, well, then, there's only so many options left open to the people. And that's the understanding of, in political science, that if the social contract is broken by the government, well, then the citizens only have a few options open to them. But I don't think anybody in government even knows what the fucking social contract is, or has even to study it. It's like, what? It's not law related, school related, or house related. We don't understand. We just, maybe we need another election. I'll be amazed if there is another election. Just have this unnerving feeling that this might be the last election was the last election we'll see for maybe 10 years, if there is any real hope of any new. And by new, I mean 90% of the formation of government that's there now is completely gone forevermore. And I can't see that happening, that some state of affairs will have to effect. We'll have some new virus strain to lock the people down, so elections can be suspended. Maybe
Our World War III. Yeah.
that's on the horizon. So I think our good friend in the States, Trump, I think he's starting a war in Venezuela in the hopes that it will just tick along nicely so he can stay in power. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So so we have lots and lots of clips of what happened in City West. And of course, again, it didn't just happen out of nowhere because the old racism got a hold of people. No, this time a 10-year-old girl. Can we say that word on YouTube? We're not allowed to say it, are we? The R word.
We're best to avoid it, but everyone knows what you mean.
We're in
Yeah.
enough trouble as it is. So
Yeah.
that girl was assaulted, seriously assaulted, by one of the residents, who I think is some 20-odd-year-old man from Northern Africa who speaks Arabic. Surprise, surprise. And was in the care of Tusla, of all organizations. So apparently her family voluntarily gave her up to Tusla because of behavioral issues. So she went into state care. Of course, Tusla being very busy because they don't get enough funds. So they basically subcontracted out the care of the child to a private operator. Isn't that beautiful? Like,
Oh.
you gotta love that. Like,
What the migrants living in City West?
no, this child was in. No, this is
Oh
before.
no!
Yeah,
That's,
no, that was
you missed my
that was
joke. Jesus.
that was another subcontract. That was like, it's a series of subcontracts. Like, so. So they sublet her out to the pimp, and then the pimp essentially sublet her out to the community,
Right.
because you put a couple of 100, maybe 1,000 horny men into a small location, not going to integrate with society, no chance in the fucking world. But celibacy is it's very attractive these days. I don't think so. So anyway, the girl, I don't know what happened between there. She was apparently out on a day trip with one of her minders. Apparently she escapes from the minder. She goes to stay with a family member in Dublin, absconds from the family member, somehow magically manages to end up in City West Hotel, or run into this North African dude. And then that happens. She goes back, tells her family. Family contacts the Gardaí. Then it becomes public knowledge, which is amazing to my mind. Like, because if a foreigner farts in the country, it's like, well, we can't talk about it. We can't mention that the foreigner who farted was of a particular color or from a particular country. But somehow magically with this one, it's like within a couple of hours of it happening, it's suddenly it's everywhere. Like, it's common knowledge, almost as if it's designed to get people in a rage and get them up outside City West. And anyway, we'll get on to that later.
Yeah.
So we have that footage. So a lot of people turn up. Obviously, people hear about this event. Numbers swell. Things become angry. Then people start to get a bit heated. And also, some of our own people get arrested at the event. I don't know, 420's in the chat, but 420 is now has entered the Guinness Book of Records for the quickest live stream to being arrested on the planet. I think a magical record of 1 minute and 30 seconds from live stream to arrest. So we'll also have a look at that. So we have this clip. I'll just share it now. So it's a series of clips that will run together. So just shout stop at any moment if I don't stop. Let me share the screen now. Okay, we see that okay?
Yep.
Okay. So it starts off like earlier in the night. I think just the small crowd gathers, no Garda presence, and then so they enter onto the grounds of City West Hotel to start protesting. So we've got 7.5 minutes. We could play clips endlessly, but I don't want to do that. We'll be here all night,
Mm-hmm.
What do we want? When do we want it? No!
It's all bags! Scummy, smelly rats!
No more sexual assault!
I love the colorful language of the average dub.
I know, right?
Just amazing.
Dirty. What was it? Dirty, smelly? I don't know.
The CUNT.
Yeah, all right.
Our children!
It's all bags!
We set it safe! No more sexual assault on our children!
Yeah, all right. This is the Tala Cavalry.
The mounted division.
Yeah. So we have our own mountain, and that's what's fucking needed, really.
Oh yeah.
So we need 100 guys on horses to show up, and that lets us know. Like, so of course, it's all been framed now as the far right, and the big thing in media is how this was organized online. In other words, people talking to each other, saying, "Did you hear what fucking happened? This is outrageous."
As opposed to what? Posters on poles?
Yeah, or pigeons.
Fucking telephones? Yeah.
Pigeons, telephones, the mail. Oh my God, people are communicating on a communication device. What must we do? Let's lock it down. If they never hear about anything, sure, then they can't do anything about anything. So let's keep them in their houses. Let's give them some sort of device to put on their heads when they can't hear anything or see anything, or maybe just kill them all. That would be easier, wouldn't it? If we just get rid of them all, well, then there'd be no problems whatsoever, and just let's replace them with nice furry foreigners. And then if that fails, if they start getting uppity, let's just go full robot. They talk about it as if it was this big conspiracy to gather all these people here. No, not at all. It's just people outraged coming up there, and then chaos ensues. There's no organization on any real level other than a couple of people just going, okay, let's get up here, and then anger takes over. That's it. If this was organized, granted, I don't know if there is 100 horses out there, but if it is organized, there would be, rows of cars here that would go into the
Yeah.
area, clear it. There would be barrels of
Mhm.
petrol on either side of this road and the opposite road. So then if a public order unit does come out, barrels get spilled behind them, barrels get spilled in front of them.
Yeah.
And then
It would look like an average day in Belfast in the 90s.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it will look like that eventually, because eventually people are
Mhm.
going to come to the realization that, peaceful protests don't work, already there. Sporadic chaos works for a day or a night. Vents some anger, doesn't really do anything. And then we see already what's happened in the 2 days after, like, massive barricades have gone up outside City West Hotel, so people won't even be able to get in to the hotel itself now. So eventually, large enough numbers of people are going to come to the realization, okay, this needs to be actually organized, and then it moves on a step, and we know eventually where
Yeah.
we end.
You know what? I saw 2 posts on social media since then from foreigners.
Mm.
Both of them asked the question, is the IRA coming back? So, this isn't just a figment of our imagination or something. People are recognizing that something's going on in Ireland,
Mhm.
and the world is looking to us. In a while, I'm going to play a clip from the main TV channel in Russia reporting on this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it all over social media, but I didn't know it's been reported on national television in other countries.
Mhm.
And we do know Ireland is the testing ground for a lot of this nonsense, because it's a kind of ideal sized country to run experiments on. And that's been our history for the last couple of 100 years as well. It's like, well, we'll
Yep.
try this out. Oh, this works. Let's export it to the rest of the world. And I don't know what we did to deserve that, other than having the unfortunate fucking curse of the neighbours we have to the east of us. Not all of them, but a fair chunk of them. We just got unlucky and landed beside a load of evil fucks. But we are where we are, and we do have a lot of foreigners on our side as well. It wasn't just Irish people who were at this protest. A lot of Polish people were there, Croatian people were there. A good mix, because at the end of the day, it's not about race totally. Granted, there are some people who would just like everyone who's off white, get the fuck out. I wouldn't be too upset with that either, in honesty. But it's not going to happen. But just people on a human level realize that, take all the kind of legal immigration out of the equation for a second, and just look at the guys, the dregs. Let's be honest, it's the dregs that are coming in. So what's essentially happening is, to me, it looks like every prison and mental asylum in Africa and the Middle East has been emptied, and it's all getting filtered through Europe, and we're at the drag end of the bottle, essentially. So we get the worst of the worst that end up in Ireland, and that's not just subjective. Like, just go to Dublin, take a walk around, look at the people who are coming into your community. Your eyes don't fucking deceive you. If there's some guy walking around who looks like he just got out of a 10-year stretch, if he's got like massive scars on his face, he's got fucking prison tattoos all over his face and his neck, it's a good indication that there's something amiss. And then actually take into all the additional crime that's happening in Ireland. Now, I know people would like to tell you it's not happening, that more Irish people commit crimes. Yes, of course they do. There's more Irish people here still, and our beautiful guardians of the peace don't actually record. Well, maybe they do record crime by race, but they don't release it. So there's no actual way that we can look at it empirically and say, okay, well, this increase is due to this cohort. But just your common fucking sense would tell you that if you import 10, 20, 30, 40,000 people with no fucking future, you don't know who they are, where they are, that even 10% of that is a problem, and you don't want that. And we've no checks. So, even for anybody to still come up with the pretense that people are vetted, it's a fucking joke. The guy who committed this fucking crime came in illegally, was deported, got an order to self-deport, of all the ridiculous horseshit you've ever heard in your entire life. Self-deport. It's pretty much like telling somebody who's committed a crime to, self-imprison. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah, come up to Mount Troy, whenever you're good,
Yeah, whenever when you're ready, like get
Yeah.
your affairs in order. If we'll keep the place open for you. Maybe 6 months. If you don't show up, you get a letter in the post saying, "Like, are you still interested in coming to the prison? If not, please let us know because we have a long waiting list and we like to get through the numbers." And this is an iconic image for Ireland. Guys bareback on horses. Granted, that's a tiny horse. It's not compression on the video.
Yeah, that was the first thing that struck me. Is like, oh, that poor pony.
Yeah, because what they did, there's essentially two sets in Ireland to keep horses. Very wealthy people or well-to-do people who can afford them, and then people who can't, don't have the same wealth, but have a history of keeping horses, between travellers and the working class community in Dublin. And that's pretty much died. They killed the horse fair in Smithfield, pretty much. They put a lot of money into taking horses off people because some horses were neglected. But again, it's still hanging on. That old level of tradition is still hanging on there. And it's a pity because there's a reason guards use horses and guards use attack dogs, and the same with banning all these dangerous breeds. It's not because they really care about the one child who gets mauled by a dog every 10 years. It's because they're, one of the few weapons that are still available to people in Ireland outside of their whatever's in the kitchen drawer, So, a good horse or a good cane corso or a good pit bull is a good companion, let's put it that way. We got a couple of guards there as well, so not very brave when they're outnumbered, as we can see there. Just kind of a little bit lost. What do? We can't start pepper spraying people or beating them up here because we're well outnumbered. And
yeah, they know that they'll get a fucking kicking.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. And then, as we know, when the riot squad appears, everybody retreats, which is understandable. I do the same because you'd have to be pretty nuts trying to take on a riot squad again with another 300-400 guards backing them up, and they're trained for it, and they're immune from any consequence. And for the average person, again, if it was organized, you can look to riots usually in Asia, in places like the Philippines, where you can see what an organized riot looks like from the rioters' point of view. They dress up as a kind of counter riot squad. They have shields. They understand the tactics, and it's more of a fair fight. In this scenario, it's not. It's just people turn up. Some people are angry, have more aggression, and will take on the guards in some sense, but then will quickly retreat because not to retreat is essentially to get your head stomped in.
A wheelie bin full of glass bottles. Look at this.
Nice.
Yeah, so for the moment, empty glass bottles.
Missing a certain liquid.
Yeah.
A certain material at the top. Yeah.
Some sort of ignition source. So there were questions about where do you get a couple of 100 bottles at short notice in a wheelie bin, So again, I'm not sure. I know this area in Sagard, so I know not too far from the City West Hotel, there are a couple of pubs, but generally pubs don't leave their glass outside for the bin man to collect the next morning until after the pub closes, maybe 1-2 in the morning. Then they put it out. So it raises a question for me: how is there magically a big wheelie bin full of bottles ready there for the taking, and it reminds me a lot of the kind of Black Lives Matters protest in the States, where pallets of bricks were just left around. There's questions about that. If it was a case where the people who were organising Black Lives Matters delivered the pallets in advance, again, I don't think there's that level of organisation within the quote unquote far right in Ireland.
No.
So maybe it's just coincidence that one of the pubs did leave it out, or if I was more conspiratorial, I would say it's this sheriff who just left them handily lying around, as well as other items that we'll see a little bit further down the line.
All right, bro.
I have to say, they're really good. They got brilliant throwing arms, those lads.
Yeah, it's a good aim, like so.
Yeah, like all the way across the fucking street, man.
Yeah,
and they fly like fucking missiles. Like,
yeah,
it's not like up in the air and then swirl and yeah,
which again raises a bit of a suspicion, because I don't know, it's because we're naturally suspicious anyway of everything at this stage, but it does have the feel of training exercise.
Oh yeah. If you look online, you'll see videos of the guard of the training. Yeah,
and like you said, there's no arc with the bottles. So if I was to throw a bottle, and I wanted to, cause some damage, it's like up at an angle, so it goes over the shields, and into the guards. Not that it would have any real effect, because they're essentially, padded from head to toe.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. Maybe it would be a more stronger psychological effect if they were to land on them, behind them, or something. It's like you're being bombarded from all sides. Yeah.
And again, in an ideal world where it was organized, you'd have some sort of pincer movement while these lads, attack these with bottles, that you'd have pincer movements from the left and the right to go behind them, and then but it's not that. We can only play strategy games online, and look to the future where something like that might possibly happen.
Last hour with glass bottles here. Right, wheelie bins full of glass bottles. Right, and then down here, folks, they're getting lashed over with bricks, stones.
This is Dublin.
Be up, lad.
This is Dublin.
You can see. This is Dublin. This crowd are getting lashed over with bricks.
Yeah. So.
Again,
very odd.
It is, isn't it? Why are they? No, I don't know, man.
I don't know. Like, you can understand, glasses maybe from the pub, bricks like just magically.
Is there a construction site nearby? Was there a forklift that lifted up the pallet of bricks and brought them to the street?
I don't know. I did see one clip. It's not here, of a woman with a buggy delivering bricks. So I don't know. And this is footage. I should mention that I can't remember all the people's names who I took footage from, but this is from This is Dublin. Also, there's footage in here from DC Rome's, probably the best quality footage on the night. So check out DC Rome's if you have a chance, if you haven't seen his live stream already.
Yeah, that's one word, DC Rome's.
Yeah. Paul Nolan, some of his footage is in there as well, and a couple of others I can't remember offhand, but I'll credit it in the description of the video after the show ends.
Look at this.
I know, didn't make it all the way.
I mean, everyone's, they got the physics right of throwing the balls, but, whoever fucking pushed that bin didn't think, Nah, that won't make it.
No, you're not thinking like if I was there, I'd probably be walking backwards anyway. I wouldn't be walking towards it. But I don't know, maybe even something like marbles or steelies in the bottles. So when they do
Huh.
break, that the marbles and steelies go all over the road. So when these guys do eventually move forward
Hmm.
with a bit of luck, it might be like walking on ice or something like that. So they
Hmm.
lose their footing, or if they bring in the horses behind them, and that the horses also lose their
Oh
footing.
shit.
Or,
I
yeah,
wonder if we could like buy several thousand marbles from China.
I'm sure we could easily.
Yeah, okay. Let's fundraise for that.
Yeah, and then maybe a bit of wire, but a nice bit of wire that's secured to that wall, and another piece of wire over there that's secured to something strong as well. And then they all make a run for it, and they go arse over tit.
That's a saying.
That's impressive. Oh, someone went over there.
Oh. Hmm.
Oh, is that a child or bricks? Let's just move that forward. No, that's child. Cause I'm just thinking, like, so there's probably one half of the country who looks at that and goes, about fucking time.
Hmm.
And then there is still another half of the country who will look at it and go, like, that's appalling.
Hmm.
That's shocking. And again, it helps the state because it changes the narrative instantly from, 10-year-old child being
Mhm.
assaulted
To
to
riot. Yeah.
the awful riot. Let's talk about the riot, 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 and
Yeah.
then people have to continue to remind them why the riot happened. It's not just because we're unhappy with the color of people. It's because an actual child was assaulted.
Yeah.
Not the first one, and it won't be the last one either.
Sure. I was as I was on my way home. I met my aunt just randomly in town, and we were having a quick chat. 'Cause both of us had to make our path. And she said, "Isn't it crazy? What's going on? Wild. But it's gone too far because now it's become it's detracted away from the tragedy, and I think this is a middle segment as well that
Mm.
a little more nuanced. And yeah, it did go too far, because either you go all the way or don't even start,
Yeah,
my
there,
opinion.
there is that to consider as well. That if you are going to take on the riot squad, you do it like you're ready to give up your life to do it.
Yeah.
But that takes some real organization and commitment
Yeah.
from the people involved. And again, if it didn't happen, it would still be buried in 2 days anyway, because to a large extent for communications in the country, we still depend on mainstream media to get the message to people who aren't online, And I don't know what the true numbers are. I don't know how many people get their information online versus mainstream media, but I still think it's pretty large, So with mainstream media, it would be a case of a day, maybe 2 days, and then it gets buried,
Hmm.
So it either gets buried into silence, or the narrative shifts to look at the awfulness, look at the awfulness, look at the awfulness. And I don't think anybody who is inclined to turn up at a protest anyway is going to be too put off by this. It's not like going, okay, well, I'm completely changing my stance. I can't take this anymore. Therefore, I'm now in favour of mass immigration, and I'm happy to let the government continue as they are. On the other end, I don't know. I don't know if people will be so outraged that this happened to a child, but then they just can't bring themselves to say, okay, well, maybe, even maybe, this immigration has something to do with it, or cognitive dissonance will still kick in and go, well, it's not really to do with where the guy's from. It's more to do with the fact that he's a man, and therefore the problem is men, which is also being pushed forward. That it's not men from a particular culture, but it's men in general, and we need to fix this issue around men because it's still the same nonsense. But the only way, well, there's a couple of ways to remedy that. One is to try and use logic. Doesn't really work. The other option is a good hard slap in the face. Snap the fuck out of it, you silly cunt.
Well, what are those? Like,
I know.
what?
The first time I saw was, are they old style muskets?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like fucking Revolutionary War in America or something.
I don't want to hang anybody by.
Huh. Like, wow. I mean, what the fuck am I looking at?
I don't know.
man?
That's a great photo. I have to say,
It is, yeah.
you even got a fucking some sort of pit bull there as well, coming into frame. The orange flag, the smoke.
Yeah.
Look at that. Like that's for all intents and purposes a musket. But it's not. It's some guy holding his arm out with some sort of tube to launch fireworks. We still have fireworks again. One an illegal weapon in Ireland, again covered under firearms offences. We're not allowed purchase
Fireworks.
Yeah, we're not allowed purchase fireworks in the Republic of Ireland still.
Oh, yet still we get our hands on them. That's
Yeah,
funny.
could we just go across the border of all places? Like they're legal in Northern Ireland.
A reason to vote no when the border poll comes up.
Yeah, I'll take on a United Ireland just for the chance to buy proper fireworks.
And slightly cheaper booze.
There you go. Sure, what more can a man want? Fireworks and fucking cheap booze. So fireworks. But again, it makes a great scene, and again, it's only a matter of time. If weapons were freely available, I'm sure they would have been used on the night. But our beautiful government, in their wisdom, decided that under no circumstance can Paddy have easy access to firearms because they might just get pissed off a little bit too much when they turn the thumb screws that little bit too tight.
We need to. Sorry, this is important. We need Jim Fitzpatrick, the iconic Irish artist, to put aside his ego and make a artist rendition of that freeze frame that we're just looking at. That would rock.
Yeah, we'd have to pay him handsomely. I'm sure we know he's not aligned with any of this, or maybe there was some cracks, wasn't there? Some little bits of light.
Slowly, yeah, but then he went back on it and started being a fucking classist piece of shit again.
All right.
But hey,
yeah, what can you do?
Look at this. Damn. Go on. Yes.
He's having a great time.
Yeah, no, it's like a little computer game. And it's understandable, because these guys have been stomping on people probably since the foundation of the fucking state. Let's be honest. But we only have to think back to Newtown and Kennedy. We know how they react. We can guess how the operational command acts. It's like they put the call out on their WhatsApp group. Listen, something's going down. Anybody who's available, rush up here as soon as you can. Put on a uniform. Pick up your meth. Smoke it. And then, when you get the order, go buck fucking wild and start hitting anything and spraying anything inside.
Even old grannies waiting at the bus
Grannies,
stop.
dogs, trees, cats, fucking stones on the ground, anything at all. Just keep swinging until they get some control over things.
Go on. That's what happens when you don't let people protest peacefully. That's what happens with it. Won't let us protest.
Yeah, and then mystery Garda van left all by its lonesome, conveniently outside the hotel. Now, I refuse to believe that this is just carelessness on behalf of the Garda,
Yeah.
because we can't see it in this clip, but just there's a fence there, and then behind the fence you have maybe 10, 15 uniformed members of Garda. Like, how, in the name of God, this vehicle gets abandoned out there? The guards hopped the fence when all they had to do was drive up a little bit further up the road and go in the entrance to the hotel, where every other Garda vehicle, including the water cannon, is parked inside. So again, it seems it's part of operations to abandon a car. I don't even think they have to have one of their own members set it on fire. They just know that there's somebody in the crowd who's going to see that, and then it becomes an obvious target. Someone breaks the
Oh,
window,
yeah.
just sets it on fire, and then boom, it's up in flames. But even still, it does my heart good to see one of them burn. Like, and it is Halloween. We're getting very close to Halloween, hence the fireworks and
Yeah.
the renewal of the new through the sacrifice of fire by pouring it through the fire. So yeah, but to my mind, again, it couldn't be foolishness, or they're so frightened for their life that they abandoned the vehicle conveniently there and they just ran for the hills. And again, who
Yeah. No,
cares
there's
about a
no.
fucking van going on fire? Like, it's
Yeah. Really.
Sorry, buddy. Just be careful. Right, Andy. Be careful, folks, that doesn't play and blow. Watch yourself, buddy, yeah? Just be careful, that could fucking explode, you just don't know. It might be electric. You have all the stuff leaking out with that. Careful there, buddy.
We're alive here. Every one of you.
all right. This is our friend 420. So 420 arrived on the scene. I think maybe after it died down a little bit. But the
Right.
Garda presence is obviously still there. And then later on in the night, we had similar scenes like we saw in Newtown, Mount Kennedy, where we had the Gardaí essentially running riot in the town proper, like into Sagard Village, running into private housing estates. Same thing, shouting at people to get off the streets and doing their nonsense, hold the line, left wing advance, right wing advance, and a lot of English accents. So I don't know, maybe there's a lot of English people joining in the Garda force, but
But you forgot about secondment.
secondment, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
all very fucking strange. We don't really need it.
But by the way, that term needs to be explained. Sorry for anyone who doesn't know it. That there's a deal between the Brits and the Irish government of like, well, if we need one of your guys, top level guys to come and help us be psycho fucking paths, we'll call on you.
Yeah. And we did have our last wonderful commissioner, who we all miss desperately, Mr. MI5 himself, who's been in the fold for a long time, who's put the procedures in place to further enable that and to train our guards that little bit better. But I think people still struggle. But like, how can the guards do this? How can they fucking do this? It's because it's their job. It's never going to change. If it does change, they'll just leave. But like any job, I was listening to, God help me, what was it? News Talk, Sean Moncrief, who just so happens to be on. I know at a particular time when I have to do a particular thing. and I just can't bear silence in the car. It's just I've conditioned myself that way over the years. So I turned the radio on, and he has this English colleague who goes onto the streets of Dublin and does a kind of vox pop asking people questions. And the question on the day was, should you bring your authentic self to work? And everybody said no, essentially because they were saying, well, you know, you don't want to bring your problems into work. So I took it that everyone is a piece of shit, like, because the only thing they said about themselves was always problems, or you don't want to bring problems about financial problems or issues with partners into work. It's just the way it is. Nobody brings their authentic self into work because, you know, we probably would all fucking kill each other. We all have to have a certain persona, especially if you're kind of front-facing staff and like that. And it's the same with these guys. So, you know, it's just a switch is flipped in the mind where they aren't their authentic selves. And I'm not making excuses for them, but just the psychology of it, that it's the persona, it's the personality of the copper. And then if that does bleed into their personal life, well, God help their fucking partners. But still, even having said that, at some fucking stage, you've got to question yourself, like, what the fuck am I doing here? I suppose you can rationalize it by saying, well, you're protecting the people inside the hotel. There's a lot of families and children inside the hotel. They have their careers to think of. If they disobey orders, they're essentially out. But I don't know. I'm at the stage now where I'm going to kind of stop rationalizing for a little bit and just kind of lean into it properly until the government kind of relents somewhat or actually listens to what people are fucking saying. But these are never going to change. And even if they do, there's thousands of people lining up. There was 11,000 applications to the guards this recruiting session, and they're recruiting 1,000 people. And they were happy to announce that a more diverse section of society have put in applications this year. So I think like 30% was people who identified as non-white Irish, and an increase in the numbers of female guards applying for the job. So good fucking luck, girls. If we face a public order unit full of females, I don't think it's going to work out in their favor. You know, they'll start arguing about who has the best looking. I want to wear high heels, and why can't I wear this, and why can't I do this, and then maternity leave. You know, you can't turn up for the riot because you're 4 months pregnant, or I don't know. Maybe they have abortion vouchers in the guards or something for eventualities like that.
Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, take that bottle out of your face.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. 420. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 420.
420. It was, you know, everyone knows and loves. Been all over the fucking country for the last year, covering every event known to man. So he turns up here, and unfortunately gets sandwiched between two lines of fucking guards. Like, so we'll watch this anyway, and I'll shut up for a minute.
The camera's on you. You keep hitting me. Yep. See you swinging that button. I'll be a fucking wife, every one of you. Yeah, watch out.
So like, that's the worst. That's my worst nightmare. You know, you've got 100 guards behind you, and obviously, like, he's been hit from behind, or they're swinging batons from behind, and then you walk forward, and you're faced by another line of fucking guards. Now, just take into account, this is a public area, so it's a public road. Granted, there's a riot going on, but it's a public fucking road.
Sure.
Nowhere to go behind you, nowhere to go in front of you. And just standing there, just filming.
So we're up the middle of the village here, lads. See, the guards are trying to shut down the whole village here.
independent cameraman.
You're trespassing.
What?
I know, right? So I'm surprised he even fucking spoke. Like, so the first thing was a wave of the baton, like, you know, and that's how comfortable they are with people. It's like, you know, it's just body language, and you know, the average person would shift. So 420, he stepped over this chain link barrier onto kind of a grass verge of this Anvil restaurant. But like no complaint has been made that he's trespassing. So again, it's just fucking nonsense. The
Yeah.
first thing that comes into his head, and you know, why are you wearing a mask? Like,
That is
yeah,
weird, isn't
and they've
it?
given them.
It's not a fear of transmission of a virus. I'll tell you that much
No,
for
it's a
sure.
fear of being identified. And again, no numbers, not a number on this fucker's.
Old story.
Yeah, oh, sorry, same thing. Numbers off, can't be identified. Now, I don't know when 420 was arrested if this the guy who's actually brought the charges. I doubt it. He's probably handed that off to some fucking lower minion to bring charges against him. Not that there'll be any real consequence for the guard anyway, and given that they're so beloved, and they've given them these fucking like 1940 construction workers helmets as well to keep them safe, like, because that was one of the lessons learned from the riot in Dublin 2 years ago, was that when society collapses like that because children are harmed by people who shouldn't be in the country, well, then the lesson learned is to spend millions and millions and millions and millions of euros on equipment for the guards, so you know one of them doesn't sprain their ankle in the event that it happens again.
Has somebody made a complaint?
This is trespassing.
Has somebody made a complaint?
No, but you are trespassing.
But hang on, whoa!
You're under arrested.
Ah! What are you doing, man? Come on!
Jesus.
Ah!
It looks like he was pushed over the chain link fence.
Yeah,
So he was tripped
he
up.
was dragged to the fucking ground, like, so.
He was brutalized by a guarder.
Yeah. And then we
Wow.
don't get to say it here, but you know, 4 or 5 more on top of him, beating the shit out of him for.
Ah!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Ah! Get up!
Yeah, so you know, beaten on the ground for standing there filming. Nothing more, nothing less than told he was trespassing. Wasn't fucking trespassing, and even still, if you are, it doesn't go from you're trespassing to okay, you're under arrest. Smack, 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 smack. Then 5 people pile on top of him, dragged away from there, put in the car, sent off to a guard station for God knows how fucking long, kept overnight in a cell with 4 other people who were also arrested, brought to court the next morning. Then, you know, name released, addresses released, photos released in the national newspapers. No context about what happened, just okay. And then the charge is listed like trespassing and loitering, and I think failure to comply with the order of a member of An Garda Síochána. I know, right? Fucking maddening, absolutely fucking maddening. One of the other guys who was picked up was a Polish gentleman who was picked up 4 kilometers away from the area, like hours later, with a penknife in his fucking pocket, nothing to do with it. And then other people who just managed to show up, who just got caught up in the fucking charge from the guards, and you know, 5 of them putting the cell together. And that would be a fucking nightmare for me. I have a medical condition where I need to shit essentially every 2 hours, so I would have been killed in the cell by the people I was sharing the cell with, because I would have had to take a shit every 2 hours. And I don't know if anyone's ever been in a cell, but there aren't 5 toilets, and there's no kind of nice private area to go. It's just, you know, there's the jacks, there's the bench to sleep on. If you're in there with 1 person or 5 people, you're all using the same fucking jacks. It's disgusting. It's absolutely fucking disgusting. And for just standing there and filming. So then, you know, released on bail with conditions that must stay away from particular fucking areas, and then to reappear in the court at a later date. And, you know, we can only hope and pray that there's still some decent judges, some law-abiding judges in the courts, because you couldn't look at this even with the evidence, and say anything other than strikeout. And thank God he has the evidence, because other than that, it would be like they could say fucking anything,
Oh yeah, yeah, they could absolutely. Before you play this fucking creep,
Yeah.
can we just cut to the chase here? We are at war.
Mm-hmm.
This is war. We're not going to set up some kind of NGO or something to argue our case against the Gardaí, that they're being bad boys, they're not following the rules, and we're not going to get elected into office and change the country that way. No, we are at war, and it wasn't us who started the war. It is after several attacks by the military arm of the state, the protectors of the state. They have been relentless. They have protected people who want our demise. They are protecting the people who bloodsuck us.
Yeah.
We are at war.
Yeah.
Start acting like it.
Yeah, but that's it essentially. Like it's low level civil war is what it is, and they do hate us. We've seen it. Like we see how they refer to anybody who is against the state. So when they mention far right, and we had Helen McEntee admitted in the past, and her definition of far right is anyone who goes against government policy. That's who the far right is in their eyes. Anyone who goes against government policy is a member of the far right. So that's a large swathe of people, and that includes all you fucking leftists, let's call them that, leftists out there who think you're on the right side of history. This government doesn't give a fuck about you either. You're just useful for the moment, and when things change, and they will, a lot of these people, unfortunately, are, it's not going to end up well for them, because a lot of them are very loud, very vocal, and very public, and it won't end well. One way or another. We don't know what the outcome will be, but it's going to be particularly fucking messy and horrible. And everything that we do is a victory, because we're starting from nothing. Essentially, we're starting from bottles and rocks and fireworks. And these fucks have all the equipment in the world that they will never, ever need. But what they don't have is the fucking passion and the belief and the morality to be able to do it, because these guards, for all the fucking mental gymnastics they'll do in their head, when they lay down at night to go to sleep, they know what they're doing is wrong. They have to. You'd have to have a split personality not to come to that conclusion. When you think about what happened to a child, and it's not just one child, it's other children as well, and your country. And I know Irish people are deeply patriotic. I know they fucking are. But I know people will do mental gymnastics in their head 1,000 times, and we know how cognitive dissonance works, and we know that eventually there's only so much time can go on before your conscience truly kicks in. And it's going to get worse, and it will get worse, and, guards will start suffering from, let's call it, injuries. People will come to the realization that we are indeed at war. And when you're at war, unfortunately, there's nothing off the table, so to speak. So either these guys surrender quickly, or there will be hell to pay, and people will do it of their own accord. There's not going to be some united front where all of a sudden, everyone gets a message at night time, and we're all in tune, and a glorious leader will emerge. And that's not how we work in Ireland. So we all know.
No.
We all know the plan and the deal, and then maybe further down the line, well, then, other things will emerge. But they are at war with us, and you're right, we didn't start it. It hasn't been an open declaration, but there won't. But for the last, let's call it 3-4 years proper, they're at war, and they've just amped it up again. And we'll hear from this guy, if ever there was a doubt, because he could have come out and said, many other things. But we listen to what he has to say.
Minister, what comments do you have to make with regard to what's happening at City West?
I want to condemn in the strongest possible terms the violence we've seen this evening against members of An Garda Síochána in City West. I want the people involved in that violence to know that they will be met with a very forceful response from An Garda Síochána and our criminal justice system. People went to City West this evening for the purpose of weaponising a criminal event that happened yesterday. The Gardaí should be praised for the fact.
Any chance of mentioning what that fucking event was? I don't think they went there with the intent of weaponising it. No, they're fucking enraged. And what's going on with your nose? Why does his nose look like a fucking golf club?
It actually looks like it's about to escape his
It does,
face.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
And this is fucking Miriam O'Callaghan's brother as well, Jim O'Callaghan. So Miriam Callahan of RTE fame. Like, what a fucking awful country we live in.
That they have an individual before the courts in respect of that alleged criminal offence. So rather than attack...
Yeah, who is currently being assessed to see if he's compos mentis, the stand trial. Yeah, so they're having a...
Oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah, they're having a psychiatrist look at him at the moment to see if he's fit to stand trial. Then if he is, there'll probably be an appeal. Well, we'd like to get a second opinion until we find some psychologist who will declare him not fit for trial. Much like the other dude,
Right.
I think that's what's still going on. He's not fit for trial. That's 2 years in the line
Right.
now. We've heard nothing. So we'll see what
Well, that guy has an excuse because his brains were bashed in. But this guy, he's a fucking chancer. He's been 6 years fucking gaming the system, and then he was eventually told to leave,
Yeah.
and he didn't.
Yeah, and
You
he
know,
went back in.
that's his
They
life.
housed the guy in a fucking iPad center. You know what I mean?
Well, that's not the point. My point is that he's a fucking chancer.
Well, of course, he's a chancer to
And
begin with.
so of course, like they arrested him and he said, I don't know what's going on. I'm retarded.
Yeah, well, even that, this is the problem with the legal profession as well, because, last week or 2 weeks, who knows what fucking time it was, where Catherine Connolly was being questioned because of her links to the vulture funds and representing the banks for repossessions. And then, people were getting extra. Oh my God, you're bringing the legal profession into disrepute. Like, how dare anybody question the angelic legal profession in Ireland? It's like, if we start questioning the legal profession, like the state will implode. And this is the same fucking nonsense, because you will have, solicitors whose job it is. It's part of the job that it doesn't matter if you know the person is guilty or not. You have to do your best to represent them. And if that means pretending that the guy is fucking mentally ill, well, they'll do it. And now it could be arguable there's good reason that, because everybody deserves the best defense they can possibly get. And we must we must still have that, innocent until proven guilty. But it's a joke. It's a fucking joke.
But you don't have mentally incompetent until proven mentally competent. That's not a part of the deal. It's snake in the grass fucking shite is what it is.
Yeah, because it's this shitty legal system we inherited from the English. And so there's only so many defenses to each particular crime, and generally one of those defenses is, not mentally capable. And therefore, they weren't in the right mind, so they can't be held accountable for their crime. And so, as we've discussed previously, the goal of the defense and the prosecution should be to get to the truth of the fucking matter. And that's it. But again, it's just that this is where we are. So, we essentially need a root and branch change in the country. And it's got to the stage where, even though that will be absolute pure and utter fucking chaos, that's where it's going to have to go. And that's where it's going anyway. Everywhere you look around the world, it's going that way anyway. Even if you're into biblical prophecy, it's going that way, whether it's, written in the stars, or there's elements within the world who are just trying to play it out, trying to act it out. We're in a lot of fucking trouble. But I think, thankfully, we're at the kind of, close enough to the last days, so to speak. So it's going to be a little bit of a tribulation for a lot of us, but there's no escaping it. And just to accept it and accept where we're going and what's the likely outcome, we can't abide by it.
In Garda Síochána, they should be praising them. And I want the people to know that if they continue to be involved in violence, the force will meet them with a very strong
What is these fucking Star Wars? Like the force will meet you.
response.
Of course, to say that.
Oh man! Oh God! Why did you include this in the clips? Jesus Christ! Look, this is rotten. He's talking about violence here, and like, dude, you don't even need to read between the lines. He's using words of violence.
Yeah, the strongest force possible will be used.
What the fuck, man?
For an Irish politician to say that, like, is unheard of. Like, so they're essentially letting us know that if anybody protests and if you get out of hand, if you do anything other than stand outside with prayer candles and hold the village or a vigil. A village, yeah, hold the village. If you hold the vigil, well, then the response from the Gardaí will be all out fucking barbarity. They will run at you. They will beat you fucking senseless. They will pepper spray you with essentially like fire extinguisher sized bottles of pepper spray. And they went buck wild. Like, they pepper sprayed journalists from the UK, journalists from Spain. Ezra Levant was over from Canada, or one of his many clones. How this man gets to Ireland so often is a mystery. I'm sure if we looked at the footage, we would find them in like 6 different locations at the same fucking time. Like, there's one Ezra in Canada, there's one in the UK, there's one in Ireland, there's one in Spain and Portugal. And any given fucking time, unless there's some secret Concorde that just ships them around the planet at speed. But they went bananas, like, just no fucking level of training. Just stick any cabbage into a public order uniform. Let them listen to whoever's leading the fucking thing. Hold the line, advance, beat. They're essentially the 3 orders or commands they have: advance, hold, beat. And then you can even see them itching, running forward out of the line, trying to pepper spray people. It's fucking pathetic. I think some child was pepper sprayed as well.
Oh, fuck's sake.
But people are making the argument, why you're bringing a child to a fucking thing? Well, people live there as well, you dope. So they have to fucking, get in and out of the village because they live there.
They live there, yeah. They, go outside and do things during the course of their lives. And by the way, when you say pepper spray, right? People have this idea of a personal protection pepper spray that, you have in your hand pocket or handbag or something, in case you're being, attacked. But the pepper spray these guys have are like miniature little personal water cannons.
Yeah.
They can get you up to like 20 feet away, man. It's fucking insane. So if you get that close up, you're not just, the natural fucking injuries to the face that you take from pepper spray, but the fucking force of the liquid too.
Yeah, and the amount of the liquid as well.
Yeah, it's like drenching you.
Yeah, and I don't know the strength of it, but I imagine it's probably like, 4x strength. They ask, like, what's the strongest pepper spray you have without actually, breaching some sort of international law for using chemical weapons, which it is. That's what it is. It's a chemical fucking weapon. So and again, they've been asking for tasers as well, and that's coming. So that's been agreed that the public order unit will get tasers. So not only will people be getting pepper sprayed, but people will be getting tased left, right, and fucking center. And we see how liberal they are with the fucking pepper spray. So we can imagine that they're not going to be any different with tasers. Then if that doesn't work, it will escalate to, non-lethal rounds. And we're into rubber bullets. And then, we say they have the water cannon. They brought the water cannon out. They didn't use it.
But they deployed it for the first time, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what comes next is then they will use it, and then they'll kill somebody with it because of the force of the water. And again, banned in 90% of European states because of the experience that the state had with using it, like, breaking people's bones, blinding people, killing people. But now, sure, Paddy knows better. Like we'll be able to handle it. So give Tomo there a go. Like so, sure he's grand with the tractor on the farm. He'll be grand with the fucking hose. I don't know, man.
At the centre of this.
Oh, this is some fucking senator. Some Irish senator again.
Why are we looking at her?
Just so we know what we're fucking up against, the demons, like the witches that are in power in this country. So we just want to listen to her, to hear her again, just justify it or just frame it in such a way that this is what we're up against. And anybody who believes this fucking horseshit, they should just be roundly ignored. Like be on social media, in your life, whatever. Like either slap them fucking hard, get it out of your system, or just ignore them. Because we're going to need all the fucking strength and energy we have for what lies ahead, and to get sucked into this level of horseshit. Now, I know I'm doing it by putting it in front, but for good reason. Like it just needs
inoculation is what it is. Yeah,
it needs to be ignored. Like don't type a word about it, because they're just remember that like, and it's stupid me saying it, but like online is being monitored all the fucking time. So you know there's a large presence within the Garda whose job is solely to monitor social media, and it's not to put the shits up people. But I've listened into enough lives and what have you on different parts of social media, including this one. But some of it's very fucking explicit, and you're kind of giving the game away a little bit. So some conversations can be had online, some shouldn't. But these people, stay the fuck away from them. It's not worth your time, your energy to engage with them. Let them die on the vine on social media. Let them talk amongst their own people. They soon get very fucking bored. It's very uninteresting to be in a room where everybody agrees with you on social media. It doesn't feed the nervous system at all.
This horrific incident is an assault on a child, and of course her thoughts are with her family and the people supporting her this evening. Yes, lessons have been learned since 2023. We've
so that's it. So the girl, yeah, it's terrible, it's shocking. However, lessons have been learned since 2020. So let's hear what lessons have been learned.
Increased the resources to the public order unit. We've invested in our own water cannon, and we've reviewed what happened on that occasion.
Sorry, what? We haven't learned lessons from, children getting stabbed to death. No, we've learned lessons from when, people get angry because, the shit is being beaten out of them by the fucking pigs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we bought a water cannon. We learned our lessons. Fuck you, cunt!
Let's have a look at this. Who have they taken pictures from? Pictures from at Ireland Against Fascism. .bsky.social.
Sky. Oh yeah, that fucking Twitter fucking alternative full of fucking pedophiles.
Yeah. So they can't even attribute it to the people who would have took the footage, because I guarantee you nobody from Ireland Against Fascism.
No, they weren't on. No, they weren't on the ground. No, not at all.
But isn't that nice to know that the Irish government, they learned lessons from the children being stabbed? Not that, well, you know what? Maybe we should do away with this deporting. Maybe we should actually have a border. Maybe we should check people before they come into the country. Maybe we should leave the EU because it's great that we get the money in that, and I'm doing well out of it, and they have a nice pension at the end of it. But fuck the nation, fuck the country. So what would you want for sovereignty anyway? So we're heading towards a one world government anyway. So what's the fucking point? But no, what lessons are learned? The guards need to be more violent, more quicker. I'm not sure that's not proper grammar, but fuck it. I can't be arsed. We need better weapons. Give them helmets. Maybe give them guns. Maybe give them a quota of they must kill 5 people a night. A water cannon. We need new horses. Maybe some vicious dogs. Incredible, absolutely fucking incredible.
The Gardaí have been able to implement the lessons and to successfully deal with the situation tonight in much quicker time, and it looked like a very threatening situation with missiles being thrown. and significant numbers outside, an asylum centre where...
You just wait, bitch. You just fucking wait until the people cop on how to fucking organize properly and sort these out. And these people live amongst us. Like, what are you going to do? Put them into barracks? Like in the fucking, the 70s onwards in Northern Ireland, have separate estates for the guards? Because that's what they're going to fucking need eventually, It's a small country, so people do know them. And it's not just that you can say, oh, well, that guard wasn't there, or he wasn't there, or she. It doesn't matter.
You know what we need, right? I was just thinking a few minutes ago, right? You know how they fucking do, what is it, ink that they're using to mark people, when they go home from protests, they can't get it out of their skin. Well,
Yeah.
let's, meet fire with fire. We'll buy a bunch of fucking pink ink and we'll spray the fucking cunts, right? So then tomorrow, everyone will be like, oh, yeah, so you were beating grannies yesterday? Fuck you, pig.
Yeah. So that's what we need at a minimum, is to face fire with fire, because that's what they fear. They don't fear, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people in a crowd who will disperse as soon as they advance. And I'd be one of them. Like, I'm not like I'm holding, like saying, well, this is what you need to do, guys. I'm talking to fucking me, essentially, and anyone else like me, which is most of us, because most of us have none of this fucking training, weren't expecting it ever in our lifetimes. If you go back 10 or 20 years, most people never have to think of it. But, we do, some more than others, end up in these situations continuously. And this is what happens. Like, they guard advance because they're organized, and they have weapons, which for this is essentially one defensive weapon, which is a shield, which are fairly easy to make and not that expensive to have made up, But it will take a level of organization, and it will take a level of people coming together in, small or larger numbers, maybe even groups of 6, 10, 20. I don't fucking know. But to learn how to hold a line. But to do that, and I'm saying you should, and I will say you should when I actually do it my fucking self, so I'm not going to be a hypocrite, But to know how to use it, study, the manuals these guys train from, it's not just them, but even pick up a military tactic book from the Roman era. Those were the best guys with shields, and how to use shields, and how to form, what formations to hold, and stuff like that. And again, you don't even have to attack; it's just for defensive purposes, to hold them off. And then, like we said, they have declared war on us. There's no denying it. They are beating us off the streets. They're using chemical fucking weapons against us. They will use water cannons. They will charge us with horses. They will set dogs on us. And worse. The government, they will build prisons. They will build extra prisons. They don't give a fuck about anything else. They won't build them for, rapists or murderers or anything like that. But they will build them for political dissenters. You can guarantee your fucking last penny. They're looking at plans in the Curragh to build a prison there, only look back into it, our not so recent fucking history, and see what that was used for. Like, they'll build another internment camp in the blink of a fucking eye. And their plan is, one, shut communication down, which, again, is an act of war. It's the first tactic in war like that. Your enemy, you shut their communications down. They will try to do that with the internet. So everything they do, we must study them. We must study their tactics. Can't do it exactly as they do it, because we don't have the resources at all. But we're very clever. We're an intelligent people. As much as they tell us we're idiots, we're fucking not. We're ruled by idiots, which is the problem. All right, we'll hear this bitch out, and then we'll stop for a little bit of a break, if you don't mind.
All right. Absolutely.
As other panelists have said tonight, there are indeed children residing.
Yeah, so there's children residing there. Oh, boo fucking who. What caused this to begin with? What was a dog run over? No. No, the whole thing is over what was done to a child. And yes, we get it, there's children in there, and it's unsettling for the children. So fucking what? I don't care if they're, 2, 3, 400 fucking meters up the road. There's a ruckus outside. Why is there a ruckus outside? I don't know, depending on the age of your children, explain it to them or not. But you can't expect a country just to go quiet. Oh, well, we mustn't disturb the children. Let's have a protest in the fucking safe space. Granted, some people are saying, okay, we'll bring it to the politicians' homes if you have a real problem with them. Oh, yeah, that will fucking work. You'll have an army in on top of people at a minute's notice. And then if people did turn up at the politicians' houses, they'd be the same bunch of arseholes. Oh, it's totally unacceptable that politicians have children, and politicians, they dedicate their lives to the service of the state. This is outrageous. We need a, army protecting the politicians, and we need new laws immediately. We need to declare a state of emergency. Fuck off. So if you don't want this happening, one, don't take in people who you can't afford to, or you can't actually integrate into fucking society. You can't ignore large sections of society. You can't have a successful fucking state that functions on harmony when you've got 194 different factions in the fucking country. Pick up a political science book. Look at the fucking, even Google the fucking thing, politicians. Social contract. See how it fucking disintegrates when you have. It's bad enough we have 4 fucking factions in government, but in actual society we've got 194 different nations in the fucking country. So we've got probably 10, 12, 20, and a minimum different factions of people who aren't represented. We've got a population approaching 5 million now, with plans to have it at 10 million. Can't manage a state of fucking 5 million. Could barely manage a state of 3.5 million when it was pretty much homogenous. Granted, there was differences, but it was pretty okay compared to every other fucking country in Europe. When you look at how harmonious the country it was, and there was very little social division, as compared to now. And even with the whole social contract, it was only meant really designed for populations no greater than 30,000, 40,000 fucking people, because once you go beyond that, you can't have a general will. So, and that's probably where it will end up. That's probably where we'll go. And it wouldn't even be that fucking bad. That if we went back to a time like fucking, ancient Greece, where, we've got Sparta over here and Athens over here, that's probably the only way it's going to fucking work. I don't know. Can we get 30,000 people together? Sell up all the properties if you have one, or renting and take over a part of it. I don't know. That's a long, long ways down the fucking line. But be under no illusions. The state's at war with the citizens of its country, a large section of the citizens of its country. So just get that into our fucking minds. We're at war.
Yeah.
And that's essentially, that's it. When you're at war, communication takes on a different kettle of fish. We can talk about things in general and have a little bit of hyperbole about it. But in other areas, like Bill Hicks would say, it's a conversation for the dockside,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We take a break there. I'll stop.
All right. Yeah, I'll play my video that I made of the Battle of Kulak from July of last year.
Okay.
Just because it's the day that's in it. All right, catch you in. This is 5 odd minutes long, so I'll see you. All right.
Oh, no. Jesus! Sorry!
What's happening here, Garrett? Can you tell us?
How do I be arrested?
I'm a reporter.
You may
Garrett.
face, you're not a reporter.
I am a reporter.
You may face arrest.
You don't decide that.
You may face arrest.
Yeah.
And on that, you may face a fine or
Go ahead. I've had this before and you lost the case.
Okay, what's your name? What's your name?
I don't answer questions.
In accordance with section 24.
I don't answer
in accordance with
questions.
section 24.
I don't
of the Public
answer
Order Act,
questions.
I'm recording this as well. I'm demanding your name and
Is your
address.
name
What's your
Alan
name?
McDermott?
What's your name?
Is your name Alan McDermott?
What's your name, please?
I don't answer
You're
questions.
now under arrest under section 8 of the Public Order Act for refusing to comply with my directions.
Go ahead. What's your name, Garrett? I'm a reporter. Philip Dwyer, citizen journalist.
You're not hammer there, please.
No.
Excuse me. Excuse me. You're a prisoner now.
You're a prisoner now?
Yes. Thank you.
Right, guys, I've been arrested for standing here. What's going on? There's no public order going on here.
Back in line, man, back in line.
You go on back over there. I don't want you getting involved in this. Come on. Whatever, I have to be here.
I'm only thinking of my grandkids.
I know what you're thinking of.
I'm thinking of grandchildren. Big grandchildren. Shouldn't be fucking here, but why wouldn't I be here?
Exactly. Fair play to you.
More like it. Like the family. 78 years of age. And that guard stuck it into my face and sprayed me all over. Standing here peacefully, I'm only thinking of my grandchildren. And I hope everybody else is thinking of their children. Because the country is being ruined.
Yes, scumbags.
This fucking bastard! This fucking bastard! Shake the fucking ass!
You're right.
This fucking bastard!
That's disgraceful.
Fuck the state and the fucking EU, you scumbags! Fucking tramps!
Let them get the woman out! Let them get the woman out, will you?
Not gonna plant that! It's gonna get succeeded and go there for patient! You say? Don't be ashamed yourself! Gas up and back! Someone like me, I have a love and a loyalty to this country. I wanted to join there. I had that motivation in me. I wanted to join the army. I had that motivation in me to protect and serve. No! The battlements will continue until the plantation is complete. We've already done it once before. The British Empire. 800 years we stood up against them in defiance. Forced plantation. Genocided from our own villages. Scattered to the four corners of the earth. Your pay!
Hey, Paddy. You alright?
Makes no difference.
You alright, man?
Makes no difference. Because in the end, truth will prevail. And the Irish people have always had truth on their side. Yeah, because as Pierce said, don't fight with small battalions.
Fuck you!
Never forget the Battle of Kulak. Never forget the Battle of Newtown Mount Kennedy. These people are our enemy.
Yeah, if ever you needed further proof. Okay. Are we still
Where
live?
from here?
Yeah, why does
Huh?
that say record?
Because it allows you to record.
All right, distracted. All right, it says live over there. Sorry, I'm being a cabbage. Yeah, so I wanted to still with the subject of City West. So the guy was North African. We know he spoke Arabic and needed an Arabic translator in the court. So it's pretty safe to assume he's a Muslim. So I came across a video of one of these Muslim preachers talking to children. I think it's in the UK, and pretty much explaining why Muslims are in Europe and what the plan is for Europeans and why so many of them are here. So we'll just have a little listen to that because I found it very, very interesting. Let me share it with everybody now. Okay, give me 2 minutes. If you just want to talk over me there for a second while I find this fucking thing.
All right. Well, what to say?
I know, I'll throw you into the deep end, right? Go talk, fucker.
Well, I should be able to do it. I mean, this is what I do for a living. I don't know. We could beg for money. Support us on buy me a coffee because yeah, I really need coffee. I need a lot of coffee. Keep doing what I'm doing here, and Morgan needs his tea, and it's not easy work, and we're probably going to be the first to get chopped down because we're fucking saying it like it is here on the anti-broadcast because we're sick of it. We're just done. So that's not allowed. They're going to come for us, man, in some shape or fashion.
Yeah, and we'll be broadcasting tomorrow as well, 12 o'clock. So we'll be covering all the streams.
All right.
From the lockdown protests.
420 said 11 a.m.
11 a.m. starts at 11, does it? Okay, well, yeah, we'll try our best. We'll start at oh yeah, so we'll be live at 12. So we'll probably just run the stream from 11 in the background, but we'll appear around
okay.
Well, at 12 o'clock
all right.
to start things off with ourselves being present. So we'll cover all the different events going on throughout the country. So join us for that. If you haven't liked the stream already and you're still here, like the fucking thing. That's the easiest thing to do, or subscribe to the channel if you're not already, because it's very much appreciated. So we have this guy. I don't know who he is. I tried to do a couple of reverse image searches on him. Couldn't find his name. Of course, the person who posted the original video, again, because now people just post videos, nothing. Not even a mention of where did you get it from, who the fuck is the guy, what am I supposed to be looking at? Nothing at all. I asked Grok, who was the guy in this video. Grok told me it was Andrew Tate. It's not. And then it told me it was some other fucking Muslim preacher from the UK. It's not. So I can't tell you who this is. But I can't imagine this is unusual, where a guy like this is talking to a bunch of very impressionable, what look like 10-year-olds in an English-speaking country at any rate. Right, so we'll get into it. I'll just maximize the screen there.
All this advancement in technology, yet they still haven't figured out that when you go to the bathroom, they're still wiping themselves with paper.
Okay. So he's talking about us people now, us people in the West.
Yeah, us lowly people who don't, clean our behinds with our hands and running water. Yeah, great.
Yeah, so all our technological advancements, but somehow we haven't figured out how to put water on our arse. Now, don't mind I don't think he's heard of the bidet. Maybe news didn't get to him. Maybe that hat, that little beanie hat he was wearing was over his ears.
There's not a single bidet in the whole of the Middle East or North Africa.
No. And they used to wipe their arse with rocks. Like the prophet. They did, seriously, like, That's where, like, they have to wipe 3 times, but the prophet had 3 rocks to wipe his ass because, sand. I don't know if anyone's ever got sand in their asshole. If you ever went fucking on a beach or something like that, not pleasant. Like sand in the ass isn't pleasant. And that sounds like I'm a homosexual, so I have to, I have to correct that straight away. Okay, if you ever got sand in your ass, like, so it sounds like now I'm being fucked in the ass and there's sand going into my ass.
That's totally you, man. I have
I
no
know,
idea.
yeah, I know. I'm projecting all over the place.
You must be privy to some homosexual stuff that I'm not.
No, it's just, have you ever had sex on the beach?
No.
No, it's very unpleasant for women. Because if you can
they're
imagine,
on the bottom.
yeah, they're on the bottom, and so if you're
right,
thrusting away, and if your balls are kind of hanging, down, you can be flicking sand as you're thrusting away. And so, if you could just picture that in your mind as just balls swinging back and forth, and there's sand splashing.
Oh, stop!
And then it's like when something goes wrong in the car, and bits of metal get into the cylinders there, and it's crunchy and grindy. It's not the best experience, but anyway, Mohammed over here. So this is the problem with Europeans. We're very uncivilized with all our technological advancements, but we haven't figured out how to clean our assholes properly.
All this advancement, think about how advanced they've become. They're trying to go to Mars. They're trying to take over Saturn. They're trying to do all this stuff.
What is he talking about?
This is what we're up against. We're up against dummies like cabbages, essentially, which is comforting in one way, but it's terrifying in another way because these people will believe fucking anything. Like, this guy gets to talk to children about how the Europeans, can't wipe their ass. Yes, they're technologically advanced. They're traveling to Mars, taking over Saturn. Like, what's happening on Saturn? I didn't know somebody discovered a civilization on Saturn that we're taking over. Maybe he's watched fucking 2001: A Space Odyssey or something like that.
and he thought it was a documentary.
Yeah, exactly. Like, alhamdulillah, I recognize the black monolith. It is
driven. Yet when they go to do the most lowest form of human nature, the call of nature, they are still wiping themselves and cleaning themselves with paper.
Yeah, now there's a big fixation on shitting.
Yeah.
In Islam, and it begs the question: why was Muhammad so fixated on the asshole?
The cleanliness of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The cleanliness of the asshole. Like, love the clean asshole. And we've discovered previously, like, those 12 black dudes he met in the desert went missing for a couple of hours. Then came back. His companions heard all the shrieks and the shouting, and Muhammad came back exhausted. Like he'd been beaten up. And his companions said, listen, lad, don't worry about it. We'll tell them you fell in a well or something like that. Sleep it off, you'll be grand in the morning. There's something odd. And again, with the Afghan culture as well, with those, what's it called? Baki, something or other. They have those little boys dancing for them in their tents. It's
no, stop. Just stop.
Yeah, it's true. It's not great, but it's true, and but they're good. They make good food, and that's the important thing, is that we have a diverse range of takeaways.
Actually, to be fair, I did go to a nice Pakistani place. It was the only thing that was open at 3 a.m. because I was on the job at that time, and they made a fucking amazing burger, man. I was having an orgasm eating this thing.
Oh, you traitor. You fucking traitor.
Oh, there's no other fucking burger like it in all of Galway. And then I'll go into the Jack's and there's no toilet paper. Oh. And then I thought they made my food. Oh no.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. So you like the taste of shit? Is that what you're telling us, essentially? It reminds me of the time I went to. I didn't know at the time, but I ended up at a gay barbecue, and nobody told me. Yeah, gay bar. The only reason I found out it was a gay barbecue is because all the food tasted like shit. Sorry. Right, let's continue with this clown.
Civilized. Do not be tricked and deceived by their technology. Do not be tricked and deceived by their philosophies and their westernizations and their ideas. At the end of the day, they are still backwards. Allah has sent us to these nations to civilize them.
That's why they're here. They're here to civilize us and teach us how to wash our assholes. That's all they have to offer. Like, we've all the technology in the world that we'll ever need. We've all the philosophy, all the literature, but we just still haven't figured out the whole ass washing aspect of civilization.
Right.
That's why Allah has sent us to civilize these people. Yet the media makes us look like the barbaric ones. The reason they don't want you to be successful is because they're jealous of what you have. The Christians jealous of what you have. Their nations, their religions are dying. So what they had to do, they had to change their religion. You don't believe me? We went to churches and they're now having the LGBT flags over there. A'udhu billah. Imagine your business, your religion is dying so much that the only thing that you could do is go and get some help from the LGBT. That's just the condition you've become in. Because their religion is dying.
Wow. Do you know what will revive a religion? People like you, my friend, in a fucking heartbeat. And I'm glad you feel comfortable enough to say this, because God only knows what he'd be saying if the camera was off here to these fucking children. Well, hopefully, knowing children, they're probably not listening to a word he's saying because they're probably thinking, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, most of them there probably wipe their asses. And it is permitted in Islam to wipe your arse. If there's no water available, well, then it's okay to use toilet roll to wipe your ass. But you can't wipe your ass more than 3 times. That's it. 3 times, and then you're done, because the Prophet himself only wiped his ass 3 times. Therefore, that's how all Muslims, if they're faithful to the religion, wipe their ass.
Yeah.
Again,
There's instruction videos by we watched it last year, I think, of an imam from London teaching someone exactly how you do the whole toilet thing. It's got more steps than wipe your ass 3 times or an uneven number. It's so
video.
complicated.
Welcome to another how-to video.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see that guy there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's our imam for the going to the toilet instructional. So maybe he can explain it better than me. Because for me, it's fairly easy. It's like, I think I'm going to have a shit.
Yep.
Then I go to the toilet. I open the. Well, this is how you do it in Christendom. If there's any Muslims listening, you get the urge to take a shit. Then you seek out a bathroom. Doesn't matter where it is. It could be in your house. It could be in a pub. There's no public toilets left in Ireland, so you probably have to go into a shop of some description or a restaurant. If you can't locate it, you go up to a person and say, excuse me, where's the bathroom or where's the toilet? And they tell you where it is. Then you go in there. You pray that there's not somebody in there already because you're dying for a shite. And there's normally only 2 toilets at most in most establishments. So then you go in, you open the toilet with whatever hand you want, or you open the door with your right hand or your left hand, depending if you're right-handed or left-handed. You open the door slowly. Then you poke your head inside just to make sure that the bowl isn't filled with shit or it's stuffed with toilet roll or someone hasn't pissed around the rim of the seat and you don't feel disgusted. If it is, you leave and you look for another toilet. If not, you sit down, take a shit, you wipe your arse, flush the toilet, you go outside, you wash your hands, and then you leave. And it's that fucking simple. It's as simple as that. And maybe we could learn something from the Muslims for, hygiene of the bathrooms, because generally I don't know, if maybe people live in a different part of the country than me, that the standard of public restrooms is good. But most public restrooms I go into in Ireland are a fucking disgrace. You'd be better off shitting on the floor, to be honest. I don't know what it is with Irish people. It's like, fuck it, I'm pissing anywhere bar the toilet, and I'll just shit at the backplate of the toilet for some reason. Like just always, always just like a fucking. Oh no, I'll shit my ass up as far back as is humanly possible and take the shit there and let it fall.
Bend over and projectile shit. Yeah.
Or pebble dashing on the toilet. So maybe there's something to this. And then if I need to urinate, it's like either the urinal or you can use the stall as well. Muslims have to sit down to pee, which I think is why they're so angry as men, because that's unbecoming a man to sit down to urinate. But again, the Prophet made it a rule because he himself used to sit down to pee all the time. Never standing taking a piss, always sitting down. So when you see a Muslim, have pity for them, like these poor fuckers. Like they're essentially, pissing like women. They're being dominated by being told to sit down to pee. Fuck.
Welcome to another how-to video. In this video, we will guide you on the etiquette of using toilet and how to purify yourself after using the toilet.
I know.
No articles there at all.
No, just Omar Talabi on a how. Who taught you need a how to use toilet, not the toilet, just to
not
use
a
toilet. And he's not talking to children. Let's be honest.
No.
Like it's not like, I don't know. Maybe this is the instruction you get when you convert to Islam. Because how would you know?
Yeah.
I would be shocked. I'd be like, what? What do you like? There's none of this in the Bible. Like, there's no, going to the toilet section in the Bible. Like Jesus, he didn't. It wasn't part of the Sermon on the Mount. There was
not even the most legalistic sect of Judaism tells you how to go to the toilet.
Yeah, this is a control freak. Like, it's like, you can't leave the fucking house. You go to the toilet when I tell you to go to the toilet. You don't use more than 3 stones. Why would you need more than 3 fucking stones? If I can manage it with 3 stones, you can manage it with 3 stones. Sit down to pee. I'm the only person in the house who's allowed to stand up. Everyone else is subordinate to me. It's bananas.
According to the Islamic perspective and the prophetic tradition. Before we begin, it's important to understand that purifying ourselves from impurity is a condition for our prayers to be valid and accepted by Allah. Negligence in cleaning after using the toilet can also lead to punishment in the grave, as stated by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, let's discuss the following etiquette. Before you...
That's the last thing I want to be thinking about when I'm taking a shit is,
going to hell because you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Like, that's the only, it's one of life's great pleasures is just to retreat to the toilet and have a shit in peace. Like, I don't want to be thinking about, oh my God, am I doing this right? I'm going to hell if I don't shit properly. If I use 4 pieces of toilet roll, it's hell for me. Oh Lord. Like, there's often times where I think I'm finished taking a shit and I've wiped my ass, but then it's like, oh, hang on a minute. There's like an encore. There's more to come. So what happens with these guys? Like, they take a shit, they wipe 3 times. Oh wait, there's more, and then they just have to get up and go. Like,
I'm sure that's covered somewhere in the Quran.
It must be. It would have to be, unless Muhammad was particularly regular and he just had solids all the time and just 3 splashes of water. And
excellent diet there in early Islam.
Yeah, Christians are full of fiber. Like,
in the toilet, whilst using the toilet, and after using the toilet. Number 1, say Bismillah. This means in the name of Allah. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said.
So before you take a shit, you have to say in the name of God. I normally say that during, if it's a particularly harsh shit. It's just in the name of God. Oh, come on, stop shitting in the name of God, please. Let it end now. This is torture.
Eyes of the jinn are blocked from seeing the private part of the.
There you go.
Sorry.
Are you okay?
I inhaled fucking coffee.
All right, that's the gin, man. I'm telling you, like, the gin are upon you.
I forgot how ridiculous this is.
I know.
Fucking demons watch you taking a shit unless you, bless yourself beforehand.
Yeah, so they're just waiting there to have a have a sneaky peek at your dangly parts as you take a shit. The eyes of the jinn are blocked from seeing the aurat, the private parts of the children of Adam, when one of them says on entering the washroom, Bismillah. It's almost like this is some sort of mind control, or brainwashing.
You know what I was thinking, right? This is not like this is like I just fuck, sorry.
Yawn right there. Holy fuck, he's possessed.
I still have some trapped in the wrong pipe.
Coffee. That's a new one.
Give me a second. All right, this is like Judaism on steroids, right? Where the Jews, like certain factions of Jews, are deathly afraid of their God. Like it's this oppressive thing that's going to torture them unless they operate in these very specifically controlled ways. And then this is what this guy's Muhammad picked his religion out of. And the thing is that it's not the way religions go generally. If we look at Christianity, Jesus isn't concerned with how you take a shit. But the church does teach, hey, be a clean person, conduct yourself with grace, not because you're going to go to hell and the demons will look at your nutsack. But just generally because you want to embody the divine.
Yeah. Well, you see, that's what we focus on. We missed the trick. Like we should have been focusing on cleanliness of the arse, but instead we went down that route of philosophy and questioning and intellectualism, when really we should have been like the Muslims, just making a big deal out of wiping our ass and making sure the asshole is.
Sorry, I forgot where I was going with this. Right. The early Islam, conquering, they just went on a fucking rampage, and that didn't even end until the 1800s, arguably. Actually, the First World War actually really is when it really ended. This is a military regime.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is how you train fucking recruits, lie down in this cot, wake up when we tell you, stand up straight, only it's worshipping a god. So bow down, stand up straight, bow down, sniff the other guy's arse.
Yeah, if you want to clean, if you're 2 foot away from someone's asshole and only you 5 times a day, the last thing you want is a stinky asshole staring you in the face. But again, for health reasons as well, like it is, it's a religion that holds power above all other things, and it's a religion of conquest. So if you have soldiers, well, then cleanliness is a big advantage. Like
you don't want to be spreading disease amongst your troops while you're like out in the middle of the fucking desert, where your immune systems are already under attack.
Yeah. And back in the day, like it was very clever, because back in the day, like Europeans were bathing once a year. Like if it was once a month, it'd be like people would be looking at you going, what the fuck who are you getting notions of yourself washing once a month? How dare you? Like people had the same clothes for a lifetime, like the clothes became part of their skin. But but I can't imagine that somehow, the angel Gabriel, or Jibril as he's known in Islamic circles, came to Muhammad and sent him down for a day discussing the finer details of cleaning one's asshole.
The children of Adam, when one of them says Bismillah upon entering the washroom. Number 2, enter with your left foot. Number 3, say the following supplication. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubthi wal-khaba'ith.
I don't have time to be doing this. I'm rushing into the toilet most of the time. Like, just, like get out of the way.
Yeah. Is there any forgiveness for people who have your particular disability?
Yeah, no, it couldn't be, like, because like my routine starts probably 20 feet from the toilet. Like the belt is being opened, the first 2 buttons on my trousers are opened, and it's like a sprint for the jacks. Like I can't be stopping to think if I'm gonna put my left foot in, praise God before I go in, as I step in with the left foot to say this fucking al-huma in whatever the fuck. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from all offensive and wicked things, evil needs, evil spirits. No, I'm bursting in, sitting down on the jacks, taking a hefty shit, and then screaming because there's no toilet roll left in the toilet, and I have to, oh, for fuck's sake! Who used the last of the toilet roll? Why do you fuckers always use the last of the toilet roll? And then I have to start texting people in the house like, can you grab toilet roll from upstairs and bring it down to me? And then they have to open the door, but you can't open the door fully. So that, you know, you have to open the door like a couple of inches just so you can squeeze the toilet roll in, and the arm comes around and hands it to me. And I was like, oh my, this is humiliating. Like, now people know.
Now I know why you're always in a shitty mood, you know.
Yeah.
This is your daily life.
This is my life. It revolves around the toilet. So, you know, this kind of nonsense upsets me terribly. Like, never mind the messing around with the kids. Like, it's just this nonsense around, you know, taking a shit. Like, and it's not even recognized as a disability. It's fucking shocking.
This means, oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from all offensive and wicked things. Number 4, try not to speak unnecessarily or use your phone while using the toilet.
That's like, come on. I think that's how intellectualism spread in Europe, is from reading in the toilet. I think they missed the trick there. Like, so, you know, maybe they would have advanced more a little bit further technological wise if they were allowed read in the toilet, because a lot of my reading is done in the toilet. The phone comes with me all the time. It's very rarely that the phone doesn't accompany me to the toilet, or to toilet, to use the Islamic term. Yeah, it's just, it's too painful not to have some reading material. I'm sure, like everyone else listening, I don't know if it's a female thing as well. Maybe it's just a man thing, but I've read everything from, you know, the ingredients on the back of the packet of toilet roll, the shampoo, the wash, or the soap, everything. Like, I've had some of my finest thoughts. You know, God has blessed me with, you know, wisdom while in the toilet. It's just a pleasure to be in the toilet, just have that bit of peace and quiet and time to think and reflect. I'm surprised that, like, there hasn't been some religion based around the toilet, really. Meditation, you know. It would make more sense, wouldn't it? Just a nice toilet, a really fancy, comfy toilet with a plush leather seat or something like that, and just go in there and seek nirvana in the jacks. Maybe that's a cult in the making right there. Like,
you're on to something there. Yeah. Before we continue, we have to thank a anonymous donor for the €10 donation. Thank you very much, whoever you are. You know who you are.
Very much appreciated. Yeah, for toilet roll. Because I use a lot of toilet roll. Like, and 3 sheets of toilet roll. Where are you going with the 3 sheets? Like, who does anyone out there use 3 sheets? Like, I use half a roll of toilet roll just to get it padded enough, you know. You all right there?
I'm not with you, man. I mean,
you sparse on the toilet roll.
Yeah. I stretch one roll for like weeks, man.
Wow.
I don't know what your problem is, or most people's problem is, man.
I don't know. Maybe you have a better quality of toilet roll. I just find, if I don't kind of, you know, I have to kind of get the roll and then do 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 to get it nice and padded. Now, I will admit I waste a lot of toilet roll by doing that. But I will do it 1, 2, 3, 4 rip, and then probably fold that in half as well and give it a nice comfy wipe, depending on the wall.
You've destroyed a whole fucking forest in your lifetime, man. Jesus.
Well, you know, they're renewable forests. I'm keeping people in work. You know? It's not like they're planting new traditions. And it's all recycled fucking toilet roll now anyway. Like, the toilet roll today is terrible compared to old toilet roll. I remember in the past you'd get a bit of toilet roll, you'd wipe your ass, but now this modern day toilet roll, it's like you take it off the roll and it's like a cloud of dust. It's almost like it explodes upon fucking touching it. There's just dust everywhere. It's like, what's going on? Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe there's something to this water business. You know, you save a few quid. You're not putting some kind of bleach paper up against your asshole as well. Maybe that's half the problem.
It was reported that a man passed by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam whilst he was urinating and greeted him. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not respond back. and said to him, if you see me in this state, do not greet me, for I will not respond.
Yeah, we can understand that, can't we? Like you're in the pub at night time, you're taking a piss, you're just having it, and some bloke starts chatting to you while you're on the urinal, and it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I can't look at you because I'm going to see your dick. I don't want to be rude by staring straight ahead while you're talking to me. So maybe they just need it said explicitly because, again, Mohammed was taking a piss at the side of the road. Some guy walked past him, probably enamored. Oh, it's yourself. Any chance of an autograph? Listen, taking a fucking piss, man. Come on, leave it out. Don't be bothering me when I'm taking a fucking piss. And I remember who was it? Michael Caine. People know who Michael Caine is? British actor.
I hope so.
Yeah, we'd hope so. I think we're all fucking a certain age. Listen to this. But he was being interviewed, and he was talking about his first experience in Hollywood. So he went to a famous hotel. He was making the film Alfie, I think it was, or he just made the film Alfie, and he was in America to shoot another movie. And he was very excited to be there, waiting to see all these big Hollywood stars. So every morning after breakfast, he'd go down and sit in the lobby in the hopes of seeing, famous people. And then one day, John Wayne walked into the lobby, and he was very excited. So Michael Caine was kind of starstruck, but didn't want to say anything to him. But John Wayne noticed him and turned to him and said, "Hey, you're that English guy from that film Alfie." And he goes, "Yeah, that's me." And he goes, "Listen, I've seen your movie, and you're going to be a star, fella." And then he looked down at his feet, and Michael Caine always wore suede shoes. And he said, one piece of advice, get yourself some leather shoes. He said, why do I need to get leather shoes? He says, someday when you're really famous, you're going to be standing in the urinal. Some guy's going to turn around, recognize you, go to shake your hand, and piss all over your shoes. So, always wear leather shoes. If you think you're going to be anyway famous, take it from the Duke himself, John Wayne, who incidentally died when they did his autopsy. They found 50 pounds of impacted feces. John Wayne, that's why he was so fat. I'm a mine of information, like around shit. I should run some sort of course, on a history course, the history of shitting, which is fascinating, by the way. Anyway, no, like, if we can go into, there used to be keeper of the stool. There used to be jobs for people around the whole shitting industry. Like it's
it's amazing. Yeah,
it's not the way it used to be.
Number 5, sit down and avoid urinating while standing whenever possible.
That's just humiliating. Like men sitting down to piss. Like, granted, if you're already having a shit, well, then there's not much point in standing up to urinate.
No.
So if you're taking a shit, it's okay to take a piss while sitting down. But deliberately being forced to sit down to take a pee, it's like, come on.
Aisha radiallahu anha narrated saying, whoever tells you that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam urinated standing up, do not believe him, for he would not urinate except sitting. Number 6.
This is amazing because this reminds me of Andrew Tate. In his early days, when he got his money first, one of the things he did was he had a urinal installed in his bathroom, like so, and he made many a video about like, this is the most manly thing you can ever do, is to have a urinal installed in your bathroom. And then he converted to Islam. So now every time we think of Andrew Tate, who is a little bit camp, it has to be said, presents himself as very macho. But anytime I've seen him, I don't know if you've ever seen him walk, he's got a very feminine walk, and is, kind of overly concerned with, flashy things like flashy cars and Bugattis, as he calls them, and rings, and nice kind of tight-fitting suits and shiny shoes and bracelets and all that good stuff. But yeah, so poor Andrew, ever since he's converted to Islam, every time he takes a need now to take a piss, he has to sit down like a girl to go toilet.
Avoid facing or turning your back to the Qibla.
This is too complicated. Like, so.
Wait, what? For facing what then?
The Qibla, the
block.
cube. Yeah,
Okay.
the black cube.
All right.
So when you sit down, you can't be facing it or have your back to it. So you have to be side on
Oh, wow. Okay.
to the Kabila, which would be very uncomfortable to be,
So you
sitting.
have to sit sideways on the toilet if there's,
Well, not
if
only that, you have to have a compass with you with all fucking points or some app on your phone, which they do have. Because you're not just going to know where the Kabila is in any given moment in time. It's like I have to get my app out because I need to pray and I need to face Mecca when I pray, so I need to know where to face. And then when I take a shit, you need to figure out where it is, and then oh well, I can't be facing it, I can't have my back turned to it, so you need to be side on. It's ridiculous, like.
Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whenever you go to relieve yourself, neither turn your face nor turn your back toward the Qibla. However, if you're using a fixed toilet seat in a room and have no other choice, it is permissible to face or turn your back to the Qibla. Number 7, be careful not to let drops of urine land on your clothes or body. Negligence in this regard was mentioned as a reason for the punishment in the grave by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, avoid urine, for most of the punishment of the grave is because of it. Number 8, use your left hand.
Most of the punishment that you receive after you die is because you pissed on yourself all these
Yeah,
years.
you got a couple of dribbles. Well, that's me out the window. Because that's particularly cruel, isn't it? For a man, I don't know how many times I've taken a piss, and it's there's just like 4 different jets, one going off left, one right, and there's a double helix in the middle. You think you're done, but there's a few dribbles more. You shake your dick when you're finished, and you get a stray dribble on your shoe or a little bit on the side of your leg. And I'm not that careful. You be as careful as you want. You don't want to be covered in piss after you leave a bathroom. But I don't think somebody should go to hell essentially because you got a few dribbles of piss on your clothing. It seems
No, you
very
don't
unfair, like.
say.
Yeah,
Really?
I know. Like, why people convert to this religion is a fucking mystery to me. Unless it's for people who need to be controlled from the moment they wake up in the morning until they go to sleep at night. Now, granted, if you're born into it, you don't have much of a fucking chance. But this is beyond the worst of the cults. Like, this level of control over everyday habits is insane. Like, and this is only a part. This is only going to toilet. Not to mention, you have to, pray 5 times a day. Then there's strict instructions about how you wash, and it's not like they're any more hygienic than Europeans, or more hygienic with showers and everything else. We do like 2 showers a day or 1 shower a day. It's just they have particular ways they have to wash their head, and a certain way to wash your ear and to wash your foot. It's fucking nuts, like.
Washing the private parts. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam instructed, when one of you goes to relieve himself, he must not touch his private parts with his right hand or wipe it with his right hand. Number 9, clean yourself properly. After relieving yourself, there are 3 options to remove impurities. Option 1, use toilet paper to clean yourself. This is.
And look at that. Like, are you a single sheet person? Like, is that how fucking bad you are?
No. I need 2 at least. But, I'm not like fucking wrap it around my fucking hand like you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe yeah. I think you're doing it for. Are you doing it? You're doing it for frugal reasons. Is it? You're just.
No, I just don't like have that much of a mess, I guess.
All right. Okay. It's like
Yeah.
rabbit droppings. Is it like, or you having perfect shits? Are you? Where there's no need to wipe. You don't even need to flush. It's just fucking out and down the pipe. That's impressive. Like, yeah, I need to start stealing toilet roll from public bathrooms. That's what I need to do. Get myself one of those.
Government buildings, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I don't want to
Yep.
steal from private properties.
Reclaim your tax money.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. It's a tax rebate. Like, just fucking the embarrassment. Imagine going to court to like get caught for stealing toilet roll out of a toilet. But people do it. I'm sure people do it. They must, wouldn't they? People go, well, how much is a pack of toilet roll these days, it's got to be like a tenner or something like that for like
Huh?
12 rolls. 12
Dude,
rolls of toilet roll. How
12
much is?
rolls? What, like a fiver? You just
Don't know.
down Lidl, Aldi. It's just as good as any other, man.
I don't know. My wife takes care of the toilet roll.
All right. Well, you need to give her better instructions then. Holy shit said, if they cleaned themselves, why do they all smell? It's spices. I I I went and got a lovely takeout from this, really nice, not just some dingy place, right? A nice Indian takeout, also sit-in kind of thing. It was fancy. It was mellow environment, But I went, collected. I went home and ate it. It was really spicy. It was really nice, real well cooked beef. But that's beside the point. I still smell the spices coming off of me 3 weeks later. I saw that there's a Facebook group for Pakistanis in Ireland, and there was a post there a few months ago, and it was saying, "Look, we're working in this, hospital. Look, can I ask you guys? Could you just, fucking spray something on yourself or take a shower before you come in, because when you eat this dish, I forget what it's called, you just fucking stink." This is what that's what they say about each other.
Yeah.
They know that the others stink, as used to that smell as they are.
Yeah, that's why you see. That's why you want a homogenous society, because we don't need. We need to know when somebody hasn't taken a shower. If they smell like onions or sweat, it's like go home and take a shower. But even working with Polish people, like in some of the fish dishes these people eat, it's like, you can't stay in the canteen. It's like they take it out of the fridge and it's like, what are you eating? Like, oh, why are you eating rotten mackerel?
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck is
these
wrong?
guys love their fermentation and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
and it's probably good for you, but by Christ, it just makes me want to vomit. But yeah, what kind of smell are you getting from Muslims, Oli?
Sorry,
Because I
what?
know I'm talking to Oli. I'm just like, what
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
smell is emanating from them? Is it a spicy? Is it a shitty smell? I used to work with a lot of Muslims in a previous job, but they all smell like carbolic soap, so they must buy it in bulk or something like. And again, they all had prayer bumps on their heads as well, so I could never look them in the face. I was always drawn to the fucking prayer bump on their forehead.
It's also known as istijmar. If you use toilet paper or any solid matter due to the inavailability of water, this is sufficient. And do it at least 3 times or more.
Or more.
There will be no need for you to wash your private parts with water later. You make wudu and you can pray as is. Option 2, use water only. This is known as istinja. Wash your private parts and ensure all impurities are removed. This is considered better and purer. And option 3, use toilet paper and water together, starting with either of the two. This is the ideal option. In any case, wash or wipe off impurity 3 times or more, preferably finishing with an odd number.
Yeah, you don't an even number when you're wiping your ass for some reason. Like, the hats are having to keep count. What happens if you lose count? Where was I? 3, 4.
Aisha radiallahu anha narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to wash his private part 3 times. Number 10, exit with your right foot, following the practice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Number 11, as you exit, say the following supplication.
Oh God.
Ghufranak. This means, grant me your forgiveness, O Allah.
I suppose we do that, don't we? If you're in a public toilet and there's somebody waiting outside, and like you've had a particularly nasty toilet, like you've defiled the toilet in some level, and you walk out and you kind of look at the person. Oh, sorry,
just give it a minute.
Yeah, sorry, I'd wait a while, like, and then you slink off out.
You can also add, Alhamdulillahi alladhi adhaba anni al-adha wa afani. This means praise is to Allah who has relieved me of impurity and given me good health. And finally, number 12, wash your hands with soap ideally to maintain cleanliness. It was the practice of the Prophet ﷺ to rinse his hands 3 times after touching his private parts or during bathing, as narrated by his wife Maymuna. Remember, my brothers and sisters, the correctness of our prayers depends on our physical purification. Strive to purify yourself as Allah loves those who make themselves clean and pure. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla that He makes us from those who strive to purify themselves so that we may gain His love. Jazakumullahu khair for listening. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wakabaki. Okay. Yeah. So there, if you're ever curious
me.
about taking a shit in the world of Islam,
12 fucking steps, man.
12 steps. Like nobody has time for that. That's why they get nothing done. Like it's not because they're lazy. It's because it's a fucking 4-hour torturous event to take a shit. Because if you enter with your right foot, then you gotta do wudu. You gotta say a prayer for forgiveness so you don't end up in hell. You know. And no wonder they're chopping people's heads off. It's like it's too much to be dealing with every day of your life. There's no spare time for anything. It's just all Allah, 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 Muhammad, 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 Muhammad. Praying 5 times a day. Can't take a shit in a certain way. You can't eat certain things. You can't eat with your right hand. You're like, I can't even remember anymore which hand's for which. Like I get confused. Madness. We don't need this in our country. Surely to God. You know, and this is the mild stuff. And for an Irish person, it's too much. Like it's just we don't have time to be dealing with this kind of horseshit. Right, we'll stop sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, what else have I got in the bag? We won't be around for much longer because we have to get some sleep. Because we'll be doing this stream tomorrow as well. Let me see. No, that's the wrong file. Oh yeah, I found a woman for you. On my travels. Yeah, so you'd be very happy. It's a Russian woman. I know you like all things Russian, and you're very fond of the Russian Empire. So we'll share this now. Just let me get it up here. Oops.
All right, I'm intrigued, and the suspense is killing me.
All right, we'll get there. We'll get there in a minute. Hang on, I just want to say what I have lined up after this as well, so I know where I'm going. No, I think that may be it. I got shot my load, so to speak.
I have a few things on you know, the few days ago. So
all right, excellent. Yeah. Okay, where are we? Howard's Russian Bride. There we go. That's not her now. Oh, great. That's not much. It just makes the black part bigger. That's great. Yeah, so we'll have a look at this woman and let me know what you think of her.
All right.
Don't know her name, but I saw her on a Russian television program, so we'll have a look. Isn't she beautiful? Look at her. Nice, calm demeanor.
I don't know, man. I don't want to be like a victim of domestic violence or anything.
I think it'll be good for you. I think you could
me up.
No, well, but I think you could put manners on her. Like, I think you could turn her, or maybe you could tough. Maybe that might be it. Like that. She could toughen you up, but I think you could take her on as a challenge. Maybe even head over to Russia, see what it's like living with her over there. I don't know, any of the lads in the chat, tell me, I don't know. I don't want to trigger anybody in case they have suffered domestic violence. But I've never lived with a woman like this or gone out with a woman. Fuck.
У тебя кровь идет. Но шапка не... Вообще, знаешь... Подожди. Не-не-не-не.
Моя корона!
Ну я въебу же тебе, ты что, ебанутая?
Мне нужна, блядь, моя корона!
Oh, that face plant!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Look back at that. It's some Russian reality TV program.
Oh wow, what the
They're
hell,
a little
man?
bit different from the Irish or UK versions.
Ragdolling. Oh, that is crazy. Oh, she's lucky she has her neck intact.
Yeah, look at that. Like
Oh,
just. Oh, she went right in the top of her head as well.
yeah, that could have been the end of her.
Yeah, in the Muslim world, like that's an invite.
Oh,
Like that wouldn't stand up in any Sharia court at all. Like that would be a provocation. She'd be stoned for that. Wow, and that was only a slap as well. I don't think that was a closed fist.
yeah, that was a fair fucking. Whoa,
Was it a slap?
jeez. It's hard to tell because it's a blur. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We need to lobby to get Natasha on this program in Russia. We can contact her pretending that we're Russian agents for the show. We pay for a flight across. She'll be made for the rest of the year. She'll have stories till the end of time. Boom. Oh.
Это зеленый ковер, просто это тупо мой ринг, это моя территория. Я помечала ее, блядь, как боец ММА и отвечаю. Ну я ж сказала, блядь, ну я ж сказала! Какого хуя? Какого хуя? Подожди! Какого хуя?
Oh! What the hell, dude?
It's just some fucking bitch, like
It's hard to, but I think there's something. Why was she wearing a tiara, and why was that something that the other woman wanted off of her? What's going on here?
I don't know. We've no context, so I need to find out what this show is from. I didn't know there were any black people in Russia either. So I don't know what the fuck is going on here. It looks like we've got two lesbians in the background as well.
Oh jeez.
But like this dynamic, it's normally reserved for men, but I think she is an MMA fighter. Which is kind of obvious given her skills. But just the display of dominance, there's no need for it really, you know, but
Какого хуя? Какого хуя? Подожди! Какого хуя? Да поебашь на...
Покультурнее себя ведите. Вытерите, пожалуйста, вот это вот за собой.
She just manspread as well. Like look at that.
Well, her thighs are just so thick she can't actually, close her legs.
Yeah, I appreciate that now. I gotta say, I'm a fan of a big thigh like that.
Oh yeah, me
very
too.
impressive.
Вот это вот за собой. О, дело? Больная?
Брать! Сдохни, тварь ебаная! Таких, как ты, руки марать стрёмно!
Oh! Fuck me.
Дойди! Вставай! Дожди, мне голова кружится. Вставай!
Whoa!
Настя Петрова.
Look at that. She essentially attacked the whole fucking room, like took the whole room out. We have to figure out what TV show this is from, because I think reality TV, as ridiculous as it is, I think it does actually give us a good insight into the nature of most people in
that country.
In that country, like, so there's something now. I don't know much about Russian women at all, or Russia for that matter. But it seems to be a stereotype anyway that Russians are particularly aggressive. But I didn't think their women were that aggressive. So maybe she's an anomaly. But I think again, is there a substantial Russian population in Ireland? I know there are Russians in Ireland, but I just don't know if there are many. I wonder if we have to have CSO figures in Russians, wouldn't we?
We have a
couple of thousand. Would you say? Yeah, yeah. But I think what we should do is have a look at those most prevalent in Ireland. So we know there are a lot of Poles, a lot of Ukrainians.
80,000.
80 in Ireland?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, who would have thought that? There doesn't seem to be any real presence of this. Is like I never see like Russian shops.
Well, I mean, no, they just don't make a big deal out of themselves.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Oh, Russians so violent. No, actually, they're really peace-loving people, and they've learned to just not give a shit about anything because they've lived under fucked up tyranny for like 100 years.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe my only experience. Like most people, it's going to be propagandized movies from the
Yeah,
West, like by and
that's
large.
it.
So
And
yeah.
now we're back into this propaganda cycle against them. And like no, they really don't give a fuck. They're chill as fuck, man. And we look at this country and they think, oh, look at all these terrible laws they have. Those laws are barely even enforced, man.
Yeah, well, we look at say hate speech laws. UK versus Russia. I think the UK the last year there was like 30 or 40,000 people arrested for essentially dissenting against the government online. Russia, I think it was 13 or something like that. It's a fucking embarrassment. But I think it'll be fun to get to know our foreign friends through the medium of reality TV over the next coming weeks. So maybe every now and again we can just dip in, have a look at some reality TV, maybe, I don't know, India, Ukraine, Nigeria, and the differing countries. It should be good crack. But this poor fucking woman, I feel sorry for these women. But I have a feeling the one who's beating them up will be dynamite in the bedroom. If I was a single man, just in case my wife happens to listen in. She does every now and again, and I seem to get in trouble every time. But what can you do? What can you do? She thinks it's me, but it's not me. It's a persona. It's not.
Yeah. Of course,
it's not.
You're
the
playing a
real
character.
Yeah. 80%.
Oh my God, her nose.
I know her nose is fucked.
Like that's her gone forever. What the hell?
Yeah, and for a woman, to have your face messed up, it's it's not an attractive look for a woman to be walking around with a broken nose or have it squished up against her face. I never understood these tattoos either. These essentially blacked out or blued out. It seems like a waste of ink, doesn't it? I've seen lots of people with them like completely blacked out, and that famous tattoo artist from the States, what's her name? Kat Von D. She had probably like a $200,000 worth of tattoos all over her body, and then she got sick of them and just got them all blacked out. So her body is just one giant black tattoo at the moment.
Человек, а ее человеком даже, не назовешь. А как живот.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Darren.
Yeah, no, I don't know what you're saying, but absolutely.
Yeah, I'd be outraged too. Right, we can stop sharing that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we need to get some Russian people on the show, because we never hear about them, don't we? It's always Ukraine. And I didn't even know there was that many Russians in Ireland, like almost as many as there are Ukrainians, and we hear nothing of them. Almost as if they're invisible. Maybe that's why as well. They're just keeping their head down because it's not a friendly environment, Ireland at the moment for Russians, because as we know, Putin is the devil.
Yeah.
Zelensky is God in official Ireland. Okay. What have you got for me?
Well, I have a video that I forgot to download. So
cool. We like that.
Give me a second. It's one of those last minute things, where I thought, okay, I need this, and it takes forever for JDownloader to start. Have you noticed that? And collecting bits and pieces because it's endless out there. What's been going on in the last few days? And there's also more footage, kind of coming across my desk of the riot. It's all it cements the picture more and more that it must have been. It must have been provoked by the state. We never really got into that when we were covering it.
Yeah, true enough, we didn't. Yeah, so you're right, because there is always with any event, there's always the conspiracy angle, and it's easy to shut it down because it's almost a cliche at this stage, with
Mm.
conspiracy. But we have to remember that the state doesn't play fair, and the state is the originator of false flags and
Mm.
conspiracies. And as we know, like
Yeah.
that, the term conspiracy has been uh, essentially besmirched and muddied, going back to JFK. The CIA deliberately decided to make that term a derogatory term and an
Mm.
easy way to dismiss any questioning of the state. But we have to take into account that all of it could be a
Mm.
fantasy. And I know it's hard to accept that because you can't prove it, and it would take a large conspiracy as well. But we have to take into account that the state is capable of doing these things as just inventing stories from beginning to end. Because I don't think anybody's seen a picture of this guy. We're not going to see a picture of the girl. My gut instinct tells me it's not. It's not that, but it has to be taken into account. And in any event, if it is or it isn't, the outcome is kind of always going to be the same. If it's not the state that instigated to begin with, it's the state that will take advantage of it and shape its own narrative to fit the picture they want to portray to the country. And what's a little bit disturbing about it is when people do talk that it is, let's call it a false flag. Well, then the natural thing then is for people to go, okay, well, let's not react with it at all. But we can't do that because it really doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't move anything forward. It keeps us exactly where we are essentially in stasis. So I think probably at this stage we have to accept that there's a high probability that we can't believe anything from official Ireland. We can't believe any state actor. It's probably best to take it that it most likely is some sort of psyop, or if you can't go that far, just accept that the state is naturally going to shape it to their own ends. But all we have
Mm.
to do is examine the points away from that. So accept that as a given, and then move into, okay, what happened? What's likely to progress from there? How do we use it to our advantage? How do we plan around it? And how do we make it benefit ourselves so we can push our own movement or narrative forward? And that, takes time and patience. But I don't think it's going to happen on a large scale. I think most people are just going to get swept up in the moment. There will be more natural protests as they happen, like in City West, where people from the surrounding areas are going to hear that what happened to that child happened, and they're not going to stop and think, okay, well, could this possibly be a false flag from the government? Is the best idea for me to go there, or do I need to go off and plan with a couple of people and have some kind of other action in hand? I think most people are naturally just going to be outraged, especially if you live in the area. It's like, fuck that. I'm going up there to show them what I think of them. I'm going to burn the place to the ground, whatever it is. But I think for those kind of wiser heads in the background, always need to be thinking in those kind of terms. And given that the state has essentially declared a state of war on the people, well, then it is time that people start thinking along those lines and start thinking a little bit more strategically and how best to achieve the aims that we want to, and not to get caught up in the mix of that, not to be kind of, taken out before you actually get a chance to fully express or develop your own particular skills.
Mm.
I have to be very careful about what I say and what I don't say. But I think everybody already knows what needs to be done. I don't know if any of that made sense because I'm not sure it makes sense in my own fucking head. But yeah, any event like that, there's always going to be questions around: is it an actual event? Is it a complete false flag? And I think we can tie ourselves up in knots arguing back and forth. Well, it is. Well, what about this? And just get caught in whataboutery. At the end of the day, I don't think it really fucking matters one way or the other. We just have to look who the enemy is and what can we do to defeat the enemy. And there's many things that can be done. Like we can even look to the States, look at people like James O'Keefe and the method he uses in his interviews, where he gets state actors, will essentially set them up with a honey trap, get them to confess their guts out and record it on camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part where we need to be all going as well. So we need, unfortunately, there is a bit of to beat the devil. You got to be like the devil, but not fully. It's a tricky one. It's a really fucking tricky one. And it's a tricky one for anyone who has a kind of Christian ideology floating around their mind as well. But there are rationalizations around just wars. Obviously, no, we don't have a leader who's going to come out and tell us, okay, well, they have the divine authority to declare a just war. So we have to kind of get creative with the methods we're going to use. And again, I'm really talking to myself because there's been some things I've been doing that I think it's the right path, but again, things have moved on. So it's time for, I think, a lot of us just to get a little bit more strategic, maybe more organized. Even on a propaganda front, we've got to move things up a bit. Mainstream media is kind of on its knees as it is, but I think it's incumbent upon us to just help it collapse that little bit sooner rather than later, if that makes any sort of sense. If you want to meet me down by the docks in Rosslare at a particular date, send me an email. It's morgan@evrn.net. We can have a more open discussion. Of course, I won't respond because I don't know if you're a Fed or not, but you get the message. Get, 6 to 10 of your closest trusted friends, have a chat with them and see if you can create some chaos within the law to help things move along a little bit quicker, or more quickly, as it's now referred to.
All right. So what we have here is, let's say the most official channel on Russian television reporting on what went down just a few days ago in lowly little Ireland. Now, I don't really understand Russian much at all, so I can't tell you what's being said, but the fact that it's being spoken about on national fucking television in a country far, far away that, normally doesn't think about us, really, is amazing.
В Ирландии массовые беспорядки возле гостиницы, где живут мигранты. Около 2000 человек бросали в правоохранителей камни, петарды, дорожные знаки, жгли машины, пытались ослепить пилотов полицейского вертолета лазерными указками. По данным местных телеканалов, некоторые демонстранты вооружились вилами и строительными инструментами. Люди вышли на улицы после того, как рядом с этим отелем была изнасилована 10-летняя девочка. В преступлении подозревают мигранта из Африки. Он приехал в Ирландию 6 лет назад и последний год жил там нелегально. Полицейские разогнали толпу, 6 человек задержаны. В Ирландии
All right, so, it was mentioned that an African migrant was the flashpoint there, which is impressive. The comment section in this here is important. I'm not going to show it because my fucking name is on it. I can't get around that. Yeah. Well, because, people were taking the piss. It was a meme vote that Gavin got that many votes. If only he got elected, now that would have been brilliant. But it's incredible if you look at if you can find this video on Facebook yourself. Sergei Mulivanov. You'll see that the Russians are speaking just like Irish people. They have the same rationalizations, the same conclusions. the same frustrations, and they feel sorry for us. You know, the problem is that they're not. Some of them are blissfully unaware that that's actually kind of happened into their country too.
Yeah, and I suppose they're in a better position because they can see what's happening in Europe, and that's in no short part why they want nothing to do with the West, because they still value their homogeneity, as far as I can tell. Obviously, there are some black and brown people in Russia.
Well, they've been struggling because the thing is that you have this whole thing of how they used to be the USSR, and there's some dodgy countries in that mix, and the borders are porous. Also, you've just got fucking migrants showing up out of nowhere, Asia, and they're starting to cause problems. You know, in the far flungs of fucking Siberia, you have Wahhabists in the middle of the fucking street doing their prayers and shit just to piss off the locals. However, in the recent years, the state is actually beginning to just fucking turf them out, which is good to see.
Yeah, we'll see what the future holds. And I think things are on the turn in Japan as well. So they've just elected a new female prime minister who seems to be hard on immigration, which it seems very quickly. Like it seems like 6 months ago there was no immigration into Japan at all, or very limited,
Right.
and all of a sudden it was like, okay, we have Nigerian villages, and then 2 months later,
city for Nigeria.
yeah, and then 2 months later, we're done. We're not putting up with this anymore. We don't care. If it means there's only 6 Japanese people in the future, we'll happily deal with that rather than have the whole fucking culture destroyed. So they seem okay with the notion that their population is reducing. And again, I don't know how we've managed to convince ourselves that we have to have a population of 10 or 20 million, that somehow that's the most important thing for civilization, is that you must year on year increase your population at all fucking costs, while at the same time do everything to cripple the national population from having children. It's like, no, you can't have a house. So why would you want kids if you can't even have a house where you can enjoy them? But meanwhile, all the benefits are given to migrants, free housing, they will have kids, and then lower economic status people just have kids. So I think people might need to just bite the bullet and have kids, but that's easily said. It's a massive commitment to make.
Well, I mean, no, it's not easily said. It's you meet someone and then you rub uglies, and then it happens. You know, like, come on, just fucking.
Yeah, well,
you know,
well, people, you know, they go on the pill, and you know, people don't want to have kids because it is a massive, huge commitment. It's the end of a life, really.
Take the dive. Just take the fucking dive, okay? Because there's not going to be some mystical fucking future where everything's going to be okay, and then you can have children.
Yeah,
It's
just do
not
it.
Happen.
We're
Just
going with
fucking do it.
the Nike logo, the Nike advertising. Just do it. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Have an campaign. Fuck it, just do it.
Just do
And
it.
then that's it. We'll put 10 grand to an advertising campaign for that.
Yeah, and we'll hand out condoms that are made with holes in them already.
Yeah. Who's this woman? This is from City West again.
I shared this in our chat, and I was this real life because I'm thinking either this bitch is fucking nuts, or there's literally, this is the only way that she can get back to her house because she left her children there while she was in the pub or went to the shop or something. And then she needs to get back to them because she's worried, but she won't tell the Gardaí that, because once she says that, then Tusla will get involved, and then, you know, her children will end up in fucking City West. But I don't know, maybe she's a plant, who knows?
Let me go home! Are you fucking kidding me? I need to home now!
Go home. Stop.
Let me go home.
Let her go home.
Let me go home.
Let her go home, man. Let her go home. Let her go home.
Go home.
I need to
Let the woman go home, will you, man?
She lives here, let her go
Let her
home.
fucking go home, man.
You're stopping the woman from going
home. Let her go home.
Let me go now.
Let the fucking woman go.
Let me go.
Nice. That's brave at the very least. I mean,
Yeah.
that's gutsy. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
maybe that's what needs to be done.
well, that's what needs to be done on mass is just to everybody to bunch forward and break the fucking line.
Yeah.
We saw it in the riots up in Northern Ireland where the older
Ah.
heads came in. You remember?
Yeah. The good old fucking loyalists who know what it's like to, fight their own people.
Yeah, and that's all it took because there was a massive crowd there, probably double this crowd. And then there was like 4, 5. Now the numbers were fewer than this, but there was 4 or 5 of the Land Rovers parked across the road, and maybe 20 cops blocking everyone else from going down the street. But everybody was standing there, and nobody was making the forced move to push past. And then the old heads came in; they started pushing forward against the RUs or PNSI officers. And then they beckoned the crowd, and once it's like anything, once the crowd sees 2 or 3 people do it, well, then 5 more, then 5 more, then kind of mob mentality kicks in, and everyone just makes the push, and they're true, and that's what it would have taken there. Like, so that woman does it. People obviously naturally come behind her, but they would have pushed. But that's what I'm saying again. Like, you're not going to get a group of 1,000 people, but if you have squads of maybe 10, 20 people who are willing to push the line forward, well, then the people behind will follow. But people have to be of the understanding that, okay, well, there is a likelihood that the crowd mightn't follow you, and you're going to take a hiding, and you're going to go to prison. And there has to be some level of reward for that beyond, a brief 5 minutes of fame on YouTube and X, because people will lose their livelihood. But
The reward is, not being a fucking mental and spiritual fucking eunuch.
True.
At
True.
some point, people have to fucking, grab whatever genitals they have and do something. And you know what, I'm speaking big, but you know what, I'm in the fucking middle of nowhere. I walk past Gardaí all the time. There's no fighting them. But yeah, when the time comes, that the time is there. Pro camera work. Yeah, see, this is what I'm worried about. Like, she continues to go, and then what you have here. Then it escalates. I don't know at what point in the timeline this is. It's hard to get a timeline of the night, but it looks like things were calmed down. So, this could have been an agent provocateur easily. But maybe not. Maybe just, a convenient, a useful idiot,
Watching lying on the ground. That's going to help.
And then she goes at it 4 or 5 times,
No,
And
is she
now
foreign? She has a foreign accent. She sounds Ukrainian or Eastern European.
she has a tan, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, see, that's the problem. We'll never know. But like we said, it's to be expected that there will be. Well, it's not to be expected. It'd be more of a surprise if there weren't agitators there.
Yeah,
Because that's what ends it, is essentially the riot. So everybody just stands there peacefully, and then it's seen that the guards attack out of nowhere. Well, then that other half of the country comes on board because it's like, oh my fucking God, like, what are they doing? They're just attacking out of nowhere. But that's all it takes, like we said with those guys in the north, where it's 4 or 5 guys who come in and they push past the line. Well, it doesn't matter who those 4 or 5 guys are. If that's your goal, be you from one side or the other, it will happen. And the state knows that it hopes and prays that some people will do that of their own accord. And then we know what the outcome is. If that doesn't happen, well, then the state will put agitators in there to have that state of affairs come about anyway. But what we need to figure out is like, well, how advantageous is that to moving anything forward? Is it better to, ignore it altogether? Like stay away from City West, stay away from all mass protests like that, and focus efforts into other actions that have better outcomes. And I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. But I think it's just as long as people are thinking along those lines that obviously peaceful protests work to some degree, non-peaceful protests work to some degree. It's a case of, they're just arsenals. They're essentially tools in a toolbox.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just gonna say that myself. We're gonna have to wrap up at some point, I think. But before we do, I was getting a lot of grief because a few weeks ago, this fucking storm with the electricity going out constantly, it fried my fucking kettle. And I had to go buy an emergency kettle. And now, I told people, look, now I want, a sturdy kettle that I can, replace the parts in, and it'll last me a fucking lifetime. And everyone's like, ooh, fancy fucking 187 euro kettle. Jesus Christ, man, we spend that on a few nights out.
That's 2 weeks toilet roll for me.
But you know what? I think I know I'm going to get crucified by this, but I found an even better kettle.
Oh Lord!
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that fucking thing.
It's the Tea Master 9000. It's only $19.99.99.
Wow! Holy fuck!
Yeah.
What's that made out of? Is it like platinum or something, or is it?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe it's.
Couldn't be platinum. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's got everything you need in a kettle. 9,000 watts.
9,000 watts.
Absolutely. That's what you want. You want to get there fast. Capacity 1.7 liters, but infinitely expandable, which is, what you want. Sometimes, you have people over,
9,000 watts. That's more than like 6 televisions and 2 computers together. You'd have to use the neighbors' electricity,
Yeah. Actually, the condition of our electrical grid, it might be a problem. 720 omnidirectional base. You want some extra fucking degrees. Quantum water level indicator.
Quantum.
You want it down precisely. I hate overfilling the kettle and pouring my tea, and then I have, it's too much, or I put in too little, and then I get the fucking little, bits of lime scale at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like drinking sand at the bottom of my tea. No, anti-lime scale, anti-time scale filter. This and a lifetime guarantee, of course. That's
I fucking hope so.
Yeah.
$2,000 almost for a kettle. Like, that's fucking impressive.
Tea Master 9000 now with added grace. So help me get to 2,000 euro. Okay, support us on Buy Me a Coffee. Half of the donations will go to me towards buying my kettle. I don't know what Morgan's going to be sharing spending his share on, but
a counselor for fucking you on your kettle, or an insurance policy for the kettle. That is impressive looking, though. I have to say, it's very sci-fi, isn't it? It's almost like be afraid to press the button. It's like especially if it starts counting down. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
You'd need a PhD to operate it safely, I think.
Yeah, but it just goes to show, isn't it? Like, people will buy it. The Tea Master 9000. I like it. It's a bit too flashy for me. There's too many clocks on it. There's too many dials. Maybe 4 too many, but it is impressive looking, I have to say. Yeah, you've inspired me to go looking for kettles. We'll have to see if we can top that. $2,000. That's the high point for a kettle. I didn't think kettles could get that
Mm.
expensive, to be honest. But that's impressive. Yeah. And I think a good point to end the show.
Yeah.
With a cup of tea.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, why not though? You deserve nice things.
Yeah, we
you know?
all do.
Yeah, some
We
people
all
spend
deserve nice things.
$100,000 on a car. Why can't you spend $2,000 on a kettle?
Yeah, yeah. If the kettle lasts you fucking longer these days.
Yeah, you need a better cup as well. You couldn't besmirch your kettle with that fucking mug. You
Mm.
have to get a bone china, 16th century cup or something like that. Start
Yeah.
exercising your little fingers so you can drink it properly as well. A toaster. I could do with a new toaster. I do like a good toaster, I have to say. Yeah, I'm suffering with a DeLonghi toaster at the moment, but I might look into that. I think I might start looking at antique kettles. There's got to be some pretty expensive antique kettles out there, doesn't there? Maybe not electric ones, but I'll go all the way back. So in the event that the power grid does go down, because we do have a comet, we do have a mystery comet. I don't know if people have been keeping their eye on this Atlas comet that is currently behind the sun. We were going to talk about it tonight, but we can't because we'll be here till fucking 4 o'clock in the morning and we have to be up early. But the 29th of October, a very famous astrophysicist who wears a very small hat on the back of his head has warned us that the 29th of October is a pivotal date because this is when this comet, which is only the third interstellar comet that we've recorded coming into our solar system, reappears from behind the sun. And he is fairly sure that it might be some sort of alien ship given its characteristics and its trajectory. It's the comet has no tail. Then it had a tail, but the tail was at the front of the comet. Then there was gases seen being ejected from the side of the comet. It's taken a strange trajectory towards the sun. And when it was last filmed by the sun, it was seen to like a funnel seems to be emanating from this comet, and that's drawing like energy from the sun. It's all very exciting, and I'm sure you can imagine in conspiracy land, it's like this is a big thing. People are channeling left, right, and center. I've never seen so many fucking people channeling now. There's some woman in America who's great. She's like a kind of Aldi version of Bashar. Is that his name? Yeah, she's like the Aldi version of him, but she's been around for 25 years. Maybe we'll have a look at it next week. So the 29th, 4 days, or 3 days. What? It's the 25th. Yeah, 4 days.
Yeah.
So in 4 days' time, this comet will reemerge, and all scientific instruments will be aimed upon it. So whatever detection system NASA has and other space agencies, the emergency system is all being trained on this particular comet, not because they think it represents a threat. So this guy, Avi Loeb, is kind of in a minority of one at the moment, who thinks that it might be some sort of alien craft. He thought the same about the last one as well that showed up. That was an anomaly from, again, outside of our solar system. And so we'll keep an eye on that. And if we're all dead by the 29th, well then, not a lot we can do about it. But we have been waiting for Project Bluebeam for a very long time. So hopefully we might get a bit of a show before Christmas. And the aliens will show up. And then we'll have a whole new fucking problem. Our visitors in City West won't seem so bad. Maybe we can strike up some sort of deal where the aliens take them and solve a problem for everyone and just bring them off to Rigel 7 or wherever they'll take them. But it might take our minds off some of the heavier stuff as well, just to have a bit of fun and fantasize about the aliens and what that might bring.
Yeah.
For little old humanity. Maybe I'll have really lovely kettles as well. That would be fucking great. They could all just handed out free kettles, free T9000 kettles to everyone. Was that the name of the Terminator as well? Was it T9000?
I didn't make that connection at all. No.
Maybe, yeah. That's how they get us. They put spy kettles into our kitchens, and they have us from there. All right, guys. I think we'll cut the feed. We'll see you all
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but before that,
Mm.
were all you just playing along with me, or did you not notice that I was taking the piss with the team astronaut? Has it been that long since you've watched Father Ted? All right.
Yeah,
Good night,
right,
folks.
all right. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow, 12. We'll see you
Yeah.
all then. All right. Take care. Sleep
All right.
well.